All right, folks, how you doing? This is Tom Cook on Friday night, 7:09 Eastern Time. We're getting ready for the Autumn Wind playoff game, divisional playoffs between Neil Shannon's 11-5 Baltimore Colts at Dennis Crowley's 13-3 Seattle Seahawks. I have joined the game. You should be able to see it now on your screen, I hope. And it doesn't look like it is showing you that on the screen, so maybe I screwed up. I'm a little new to this screen sharing technology. I'm trying to do a streaming thing, so bear with me a minute here. But there we go. I think I didn't click. Here we go. Now we should be in business. 2 spectators have joined. It should be a good game between Neil's Baltimore Colts and Dennis's Seattle Seahawks. The Colts were 11-5, winners of the Don Shula division with a awesome defense. Gave up 168 points in the regular season. Neil goes excellent. I played that team twice in the regular season. Got a lot of luck to win one game with my last place Thunder. But not too many of the teams had too much luck offensively. This team giving up, about 12 points a game. Dennis was a little more balanced. Was 13-3, scored 442 points, allowed 254 points. So both of those teams, 170 to 190 points, the plus-minus in terms of differential. And we need to set it up again. Neil is getting a connection error. I'm going to mute my microphone a minute, folks, so we're going to go dark here in terms of sound for a minute or two while we work on connecting the to the game. So we're having a little technical difficulty with the IP addresses, as happens, as you all know, as Strat football coaches. So bear with us a couple minutes, and we'll be back right for the kickoff. Thank you. All right, folks, we're awaiting the exchange of IP addresses. Very riveting, I know. It's exactly what you tuned in for. Of course, if you are watching this on tape, you can fast forward, as you know, at the bottom of your screen. Let's take a look at the combatant. Well, first in news in the Autumn Winds AFC, a big upset in the divisional playoff round. Tim Bolyer's Oakland Raiders, a 10-6 wild card club, traveled to the Great White North to take on Claude's Montreal Alouettes. That Alouette team was 15-1, 2 games better than any other team in the league. They allowed only 195 points, third best in the league, while scoring 435 points, which was also third best in the league. 15-1 in the regular season. I think excellent on the defensive cards, and they lost. They fell to Tim's Oakland Raiders, 30-17. A big upset. It has to be rough for Claude. He had a great year. He built a great team. I haven't looked at that roster in a while, but if I recall, it looks like it's a pretty good long-term roster, which makes sense when you have the type of season Claude had. So hopefully for him, the Alouettes will be back soon. They've got Drew Brees quarterbacking. Got what looks like a pretty decent line, some age there with Jari Evans and Donald Penn. This was a defensive team. You see the 3-4. As I am trying to screen share, click around, it looks like it's working right. Okay, great. Doing something right with this technology that's fairly new to me. 3-4 defense. There is some age there. Justin Smith, Corey Redding, he'll be supplanted by Jason Pierre-Paul. Let's see what we got here. Trent Cole, D'Amico Ryans, Patrick Willis out next year. Jason Werlitz, maybe he's got a backup ILB here. No. Jason McCourty, Darrell Revis, Dante Whitner, Devin McCourty. It's a pretty strong secondary. So he's got Drew Brees. He's got a strong secondary. The team will be back. Probably won't be at the 15-1 level anymore. Chris Johnson was the lead back. Didn't have a great card last year. Anyway, might have a decent card, a little better than you might think on the Jets this year. I know he averaged, I think, about 4.2 yards a carry. Of course, with Geno Smith, the Jets won't be able to run to pass too effectively, so that should help a little bit. Should really help Chris Ivory, who might get a good card. I thought Chris Ivory would get a really good card last year because, again, the Jets can't pass the ball, and Ivory had pretty good stats, and you didn't think of him as an all-or-nothing type of runner. But he had some very long runs in the card. Otherwise, wasn't that great, not that terrible, but probably kind of a strange card for Chris Ivory, I thought. I'm a little familiar with the Colts as we get ready for kickoff tonight. As I continue to check my AIM, waiting for news from Dennis. Let's see. And by the way, Dennis and I are planning on broadcasting both conference championship games in the autumn wind here this winter. It's still winter, February 6th. So you can look forward to that. The Raiders will be traveling to either Baltimore or Seattle for the AFC Championship game. You'll have to forgive me, guys. This is my first year in autumn wind. I'm not quite sure who's in the NFC. I haven't been following the playoffs as my own team was humiliated, losing several games at the end of the season. I think I was 6-7 and dropped my last 3. But I had no defense, and I could have probably coached a little better in a couple of those games as well. But as you look at the Baltimore Colts, I hope you can see them as I'm in League Manager trying to bring some of these things up on my screen. And I probably just did something that made that really foolish. There we go. That's more like it. It's the offensive line, good pass blocking, a couple of 7s on the left, 5s the rest of the way. Not a lot of great run blocking. If I recall from playing this team, they tend to run a straight blocking back set. I could be wrong about that. You got Nick Foles as the quarterback. Foles is one of the more familiar cards in the set. Everyone was looking at this card and curious about it. Has a lot of must runs, and you got a 2-8 is +4 or more, so that's pretty helpful to help you stay out of those 3rd and longs. The flat pass card, 6 and 10 incomplete on wrong. Not great, but you can live with throwing some flat passes. But on flat pass right, look at all those incompletes. Only 3, 5, and 7 complete. So on 3rd and shorts and stuff like that, you don't want to get caught with a flat pass right with Nick Foles. If you have the pass blocking or short pass right, you can hit those must runs on 7, 8, 9 to get a first down. Or you have 1, 4, 9, 12 units of completion. That's actually better than he has on flat pass. He has 12 units on both. And you got, of course, these 15 must runs here. But you have 9 receivers on the flat pass, which are going to probably get you at least maybe 6 out of 9, get you a first down on 3rd and short. So maybe 18 units of conversion on a 3rd and short for Nick Foles in the flat pass right. If you don't get the receiver double teamed, 1, 4, 9, 12, and then you got 15, and you got 8. The 8. Let's see. I'm doing some quick math here, folks. 26 out of 36 must runs, I think, of 4 yards or more. So that's like 13 out of 18. He's got 15, so maybe 10. Maybe 10 units of 4 yards or more. 1, 4, 9, 12. So about 22, I would estimate, just some quick math, about 22 units of 4 yards or more for Nick Foles on a short pass right. So you're getting short yardage. That might be the way to go if you think you can avoid double teams. The long pass, always easier to throw, I have always found, with decent must-run quarterbacks, especially a guy like this whose interception is only 2 to 4 on an 11. Because sure, you only have 4 units of completion, But hey, I've got 15 units of must run. That's going to probably give me at least 10 units of 4 yards or more. So it's not as much of an all or nothing play as it is with your standard drop back quarterback. Reggie Bush is the tailback. Then you got Chris Ivory, but I don't recall him playing Chris Ivory very much. These are the final stats. I'm in that file. Ivory had 100 carries. You see, last year Ivory had 833 yards, a 4.6 average. You would have thought with the Jets' lack of passing game, he would have gotten a really nice card. But this right column, linebacker, it's more of a, okay, third and goal at the one, I can run him. So, people can automatically key, but not a lot else going on in the soft tackle column. Kind of an all or nothing card for Chris Ivory. It had to be disappointing, I think, for owners, and he is a notoriously dreadful receiver. The ball likes to bounce off of his chest with regularity. I would pause the broadcast here so you have to listen to all this, but I don't know how to do that. And I think my only option is to stop the broadcast, and I have to start a new one, and it has to generate a new link, and I wouldn't do that to our spectators. Dave, I know, is in the audience. The Duke. So I wouldn't do that to the Duke. I won't hit you, Pilgrim. The hell I won't. That's my John Wayne. Even though Dave has informed me that the Duke nickname is not really related to John Wayne. Reggie Bush, I'm very familiar with him. I have him in Somifa, and I've had him there for years, for a few years anyway. I picked him up right before he went to the Dolphins rather cheaply, which worked out well for me. Whereas for years before that, everyone kept expecting him to explode, and he didn't. Only carried the ball 169 times for the Colts, 100 with Chris Ivory. That's 269, so it looks like this is maybe primarily a passing team, unless Darren Sproles is toting the rock. I mean, I haven't looked at the individual stats because I would rather look at the cards and see the layout here. Nick Foles threw 481 passes, had 76 carries himself, so that's getting you up towards that 170, 270, about 350 carries. I'm going to assume most of those are must run because we looked at Nick's card, and he's not exactly Bobby Douglas on the old end run column over there. 7 no yards, 4 plus 1, 5 minus 3. As a matter of fact, he only has 5 units of 7 yards or more. That's not what you're looking for if you are calling an end run to the QB. With the strength of this Colts team, make no mistake about it, is the defense. This team runs a 4-3, goes 6-5-5-5 on the line. Cameron Wicks at 10 at left end. Jared Allen is a 12 with the 1 asterisk at right end. He's got Michael Bennett on the bench as a 4-10. He's going to step in nicely for Jared Allen next year. Long-term planning may have said he should have maybe moved Allen this year, slot Bennett in there. You don't get the excellent, but maybe something could do something good for Allen before he falls off. Linebacking core 5-6-6. That's tough. If you want a flat pass, you got to target that left linebacker, but then you got to tell yourself, well, he's going to bring that free safety up there regularly because the other guys are 6s. Secondary's got a 4 at left corner with Janoris Jenkins of the St. Louis Rams. Then he goes 6-6-6 the rest of the way with Eric Weddle, Brent Grimes, and Jarius Byrd. So you expect to see a lot of double teaming of Janoris Jenkins, of the flanker rather, to help Janoris Jenkins leave these other guys in single coverage. The backup defensive backs only 4s, so I would not be surprised to see a lot of nickel out of the Seahawks tonight. Because you make him worry a little bit. You go nickel and he goes 4-2-5 or 3-3-5. Let's say 3-3-5. Then he's got 2 guys covered by a 4. He's got the flanker and the third wide receiver, and now he can't cherry pick double team as easily, especially with a guy like Russell Wilson, who you can throw long pass rights with, and he's got must runs on his card. It's not as much of an all or nothing play. I had some success against the Colts going 3 wide in our second game of the season. If he goes nickel 3-3-5, then you got defensive tackles downgraded to a 4. I know Seattle's got Frank Gore, pretty good run, right card, so you can run off tackle there and feel a little better. If you go nickel 4-2-5, you're going to play looking pass games, and you still have the long pass options. That flat pass opens up. He's less likely, I think, to flood that when he's got 2-4s covering guys in the secondary. Now, of course, I believe he can move Jarius Byrd to extra defensive back and put Darius Butler. No, I think Butler's a corner only this year, yes. So he can't go to free safety. And Logan Ryan of the New England Patriots is also rated at corner. So neither of these guys can go to free safety and allow him to put the 6 on the third receiver, which I think is more what you want to do. Still no word from Dennis on, he disconnected. So that's even worse. Let's see. Neil Shannon is online. Dennis Crowley has disconnected. He might be switching computers, might be hosting. All kinds of fancy things going on behind the scenes, I'm sure. Quick look at the return game with the special teams. Decent coverage there. Gives up a punt block on 12 with Dustin Colquitt, who's very good. Otherwise, for some reason in the SOMIFA playoffs this year, it's been the playoffs of block punts. Have been like 2 or 3 block punts in key spots, seemingly inside someone's 10-yard line. That's not good. So watch out for that possibility, especially on wind. Penalties are not used. You can go after that block every single time. In other leagues with penalties, when there's 5 yards or less for the first down, I would advise you not to go for the block because your guy is going to be offsides a lot more than you get that block, and you're going to be very angry when you give up a 4th and 5 offsides and now the guy's a first down because you're trying to get a block that rarely happens. Great punt returning card in Tandon Doss has got the touchdown on 3, plus 27 on 6, plus 19 on 9. Watch for that. Unfortunately, he is only a 1-back, and the Colts have got to use Darren Sproles as a 2-back. Pretty terrible card for Sproles this year. David Reed's not bad as the 1-back kick returner. Sproles okay as the 2-back. I'll assume a decent field goal kicker. Yes, very solid. Justin Tucker, one of the best in the business. 2-7 after the 44. So watch for that, particularly at the ends of half, maybe in a late game situation. If you need a field goal and the clock is a factor. Check out these Seattle Seahawks. I'm just going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say that Russell Wilson's the quarterback. Yes, Russell Wilson is the quarterback for Dennis Crowley's Seattle Seahawks. We know Russell, the man, the myth, the legend. Dennis's favorite football player of the entire history of man, I believe, is what you have there. Wow, that offensive line, not too exciting. DeBrickashaw Ferguson, New York Jet. I'm a fan of the New York Jets. Grew up only 1 mile from Shea Stadium where they used to play. DeBrick is a 4-4 at right tackle. Dennis has no 7s. He's got 5s. He goes from left to right, 5-5-5-3-4. And you got Riley Reef and DeBrickashaw Ferguson against Jared Allen and Cameron Wake. That's going to be a problem. The left tackle, I think, has at least some kind of rating for Baltimore, so J.R. Sweezy could come into play. It's not easy being a Sweezy. Center Nick Mangold is a 5. I know Terrell Suggs can pass rush like the devil for the Colts. Colts stood around the defense a lot against me. I really think he should blitz a little more, move those guys around a little bit. Not all the time, but he left them. He must have left them in place more than 95% of the time, and you got 2 6s there. I wasn't throwing at them very much. You're going to move them around a little bit. Russell Wilson, we know, not the best flat pass card, but you can do a little with it. It's not as bad as it looks in terms of the math. 4 and 5 incomplete. That's like having 7 and 12 incomplete, so it would be less unappealing if that was what you saw. And then on right, he's got 13 units. Not awful. You can maybe attack that 5 if you get a good receiver. These guys are more long pass guys, and Vincent Jackson's going to be double teamed. You maybe go 2 tight end and throw flats to Frank Gore, who'll be covered by that 5, so you get away from the 6s. That's an interesting option. Frank Gore's got a good card. Looking at this offense, nice job getting this team 13-3. Deshaun Jackson, Vincent Jackson, big-time wide receivers. Golden Tate's a pretty nice third receiver. So if Dennis does go to that 3 wide, Tate only had 2 catches in the regular season, but he had 64 catches and a dot in the NFL season. So if you look at that card, that's a solid number 2 receiver card because he's got only 10 units of incomplete here. You got 4, 9, 15, 9. You got 20 units of flat pass right, 5 yards or more. You got 5, 9, 11, 12, 6, 18 units of long pass wrong. So it's a true number 2 receiver card, but it's got long gains on it. He's got a dot. He can go all the way. So I think you're going to see a lot of 3 wide out of the Seahawks tonight. I get the sneaking suspicion they've already started the game, and somehow I missed it, but I don't think so because I'm online. Dennis Crowley isn't. I'm going to go dark for 1 minute, and I'm going to come right back, and I'm going to see what's going on here with these gentlemen, and I'll report back to you momentarily. And screen sharing. I'll stop that. This is Tom. I'll be right back. All right, folks. So Dennis Crowley, in his infinite wisdom, decided not to tell me that they were starting the game, and they are now in the second quarter. It's 3-0. 3-0 Colts, and I'm a little upset that Dennis didn't tell me this. And my Strat football game just crashed, so that's not what you want to see. Oh, Jesus. Technical difficulties abounding. Bear with me, gentlemen. All right, folks, we're joining Baltimore and Seattle in progress. Dennis did not tell me that they had connected. He told me they were having connection problems, they were going to restart, and then he didn't tell me anything after that. And then my game crashed, so we'll see if it continues to be any kind of problem. Nick Foles was just intercepted, and Seattle has the ball at the Baltimore 30-yard line as they're trying to get some points on the board. Colts are leading 3-0 here with 10 minutes to go in the first half in Seattle. Seattle 13-3, Colts 11-5. Second down and 11 as Frank Gore lost a yard. Paul Soliai preventing a 22-yard rush. Gore 9 carries for 28 yards on the day so far. Handoff around left tackle to Gore. Gore is met at the line of scrimmage, wrapped up for no gain, and it'll be 3rd and long for the Seahawks at the Baltimore 30. Hawks want to make sure they don't get sacked, get out of field goal range, and we tie this game up. Colts are a low-scoring team for a real good team, but Dennis is pretty aggressive, so let's see what he does here. He's coming out in the 3-wide formation. You've got Golden Tate defended by a 4. You got Vincent Jackson defended by a 4. Defense goes 3-2-6, showing blitz. We alluded to the poor pass blocking, relatively not poor, but the only average pass blocking. It's going to be a looking pass. There's a 6 there. Good play made by the defender, holding Michael Rivera to a 1-yard completion. 4th down and 10. Out comes Graham Gano, not the best kicker in the world, for a 29-yard, 46-yard field goal attempt. Splits the uprights. We have a tie ball game, 3-3, 8:42 to go in the first half. Here's Gano with the deep kickoff, and that's going to be a touchback. Colts come out with the ball at the 20-yard line, blocking back formation. Nick Foles, the quarterback. Des Bryant left, Jordy Nelson right. Explosive receiving targets. Foles drops back to pass, looks for Zach Ertz over the middle, has time to throw, and is caught complete for a first down. Foles on his own card with a 14-yard reading. Foles 5 of 9 for 53 yards. Today, Zach Ertz's second catch of the ball game. 1st and 10. Handoff inside to Reggie Bush. Defense double-teaming Zach Ertz. And Bush takes the handoff and has room and gets a short gain on his own card. That's a first down. A 12-yard gain up to the Baltimore 46. So 2 plays in this drive, and the Colts responding well after the turnover led to the Seahawk field goal. Blocking back formation, Chris Ivory comes into the ball game. It's going to be, I thought, a handoff left, but that looks like that was the computer default play. It's Ivory up the middle, defense double-teaming Zach Ertz, who looks like he's covered by a 0. Ivory gets a good block from Harvey Dahl, the veteran. Makes it a 6-yard gain, 2nd down and 4 for the Colts. Only 6:54 to go in the half. Again, we joined the game, early second quarter. Our apologies for that. 2nd and 4. Chris Ivory again out of the blocking back formation. Ivory with 3 carries for 4 yards on the day. That Seahawks secondary goes 5-5-5 across, has a free safety 0. Did not get a good chance to look at this team in the pregame. 6-5-6 linebackers look strong. 4-4-5-5 on the line. They can be run on, but you can bet Dennis will be bringing up some of those linebackers. Nealman needs to throw some flats. He throws a flat here looking for Rhett Ellison, but the defense aggressively putting 2 men in the zone, and that's going to make the difference as that pass is broken up, incomplete. That was a 5 of the white die. I think that would have been a defender reading, and Dennis was blitzing the defender that would have been blocking back Rhett Ellison. So good play by Dennis there to flood the zone. 3rd and short, 3rd and 4, 3rd and long in the NFL. 3rd and 4 at the Seattle 48 for the Colts. Chris Polk checked into the game. I forgot about him. He's got a great card. He is limited by the running back fatigue rule, but his average yards per carry by 8 yards per carry. So Fultz drops back to pass. He's the same play, looking for Ellison. While Dennis is double-teaming Folk, it's a linebacker in zone reading, and good play by All-Pro Bobby Wagner, only a 5 in the card this year. It's only a 1-yard completion, and the Colts will be punting on 4th and 3 from the Seattle 47. It's a coughing corner punt, and that looks like a good one. And no, Sales just crosses into the end zone. It's a touchback, 50-yard touchback. Seahawks take over their own 20. Tie ball game, 3-3, 5:42 to go. And I'm going to make sure my microphone is not muted. I'm going to stop the screen share a second. Make sure you can hear me. Yes, you can hear me. And I'm going to go back to full screen. I know you love hearing these technical details, and now you should be seeing the game on your screen. We had a 3-yard loss. I would bet that was a running play. Yes, these great rush defense cards. Wilson throws a screen pass, and that's caught, and it's going to be first down yardage. Michael Rivera on a 6 reading, and how to attack that linebacker 5, Koamisi, for the Colts. Not a lot of room, not a lot of places to attack on this defense. And that time, Hawks were awarded with the first down. It's another screen pass to Rivera. Defense looking run, but Wilson can't connect. Again, not the most accurate flat pass card, but you still got to throw it. He's not as awful as you might think when you see that 4 and 5 there. Second down and 10. Wilson drops back to pass, looking for blocking back Michael Robinson. That's going to be caught. First down, 10 yards, maybe a favorable spot by the referee. And first and 10 on the nose for the Seahawks at their own 41, 3:36 to go in the first half. The score here would be huge as the Hawks try and deal with this vicious Colts defense. To pitch out left to Frank Gore, defense double teaming. Gore makes a nice cut, gains 7 yards on his own card, and wrote wrong, a pretty solid looking card. Making it a second down and 3 for the Seahawks at their own 48-yard line. 3 minutes to go before the half. The Seahawk crowd going crazy, but not so loud that Russell Wilson can't audibilize. And it's going to be another pitch out to Gore. This time the linebacker was in the zone. Terrell Suggs, the perennial 6, stuffed the play, minus 2 yards. Third and 5, that was a loss of yardage that the Hawks could ill afford. Again, Russell Wilson has the very fine must-run card. Dennis likes to go for the fourth down, but maybe not against this defense. So let's see what he calls here. I'm expecting a short pass. 3 wide is the formation. Third down and 5, 2:24 to go. Dennis operating out of the pistol. Why? Well, helps with the pass blocking a little bit as the screen pass out to Michael Rivera. Got a receiver reading and incomplete. Rivera couldn't catch it. Well, I think it's not scrolling down all the way, but that looks like it was something like a 12 down there in the bottom of the quad, 10 or 11 probably. Out comes Shane Leckler to punt. It's going to be a Coffin Porter punt. Keep it away from Tandon Doss, and it's a good punt. That punt goes 43 yards out of bounds at the Colt 11-yard line. A defensive ball game, 3-3, Baltimore at Seattle. 2-minute warning in the first half. Since there are no commercials and it's just clicking, we will not have an extended 2-minute break. Chris Polk is the one running back. Defense goes nickel 3-3-5 here with 2 minutes to go. I look for a run here, possibly inside. Polk's card is littered with short gains. He's affected by the low running back carry rule. It's a handoff inside to Polk. Defense double teaming Bryant and Jordy Nelson. They hit a box, and Polk springs it into the secondary. That's an 18-yard gain. Defense went nickel 3-3-5, and Neil Shannon, the Colts coach, called that off tackle, hit the 8 with the box reading, made it an 18-yard gain. First and 10 Colts at their own 29. Did not go hurry up. Only a minute and a half left. I have to question that decision by Neil. He should have gone hurry up there and keep running the ball a little more easily. Goes to Reggie Bush in the backfield now, out of the blocking back formation. Defense responding nickel 3-3-5. Yet again, Bush does have that long gain of 4 on the end run card. Foles drops back to pass. Defense king Bush. And Foles has got Jordy Nelson deep down the sideline. And that pass is caught. Hauled in by Nelson. A 29-yard completion. Dennis Crowley thinking, I'm going to go nickel 3-3-5. I'm going to snuff out the run. He's trying to do a long game with Reggie Bush. Neil Shannon, with the play call going deep to Nelson. Beat that defensive back 4 for a huge 29-yard gain to the Seahawk 42-yard line. And he either went out of bounds or hurried up this time. 1:07 to go. That was Byron Maxwell on the coverage. Could not make the play. Foles drops back to pass. You've got double teaming going on here, so that's going to be broken up as Jordy Nelson was again looked for. William Gay was covering. Seattle double teaming with either the safety or linebacker. They had 2 double teams going on that play. It missed by who? Look at that. 4-man column is rough. You got to watch out for that interception on a 9, 2-7 and 12. Second down and 10 for the Colts. The Seahawk 42. Remember the Colts, I told you in the pregame, have a good kicker. Makes field goes out to the 44-yard line. So 2-7 would be that kick if the Colts can't get much further. 1 minute to go. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Nickel 3-3-5. Handoff inside to Polk. The zone is flooded. He did not call a draw. Sitting on a Polk's card, that's a 4 plus 8 yards. Makes it a 3rd and 2. Now, Polk had very few carries, but averaged almost 8 yards a carry on his NFL season. So he is affected by the low running back fatigue rule, but all that does is bring any reading of more than 8 yards down to his rushing average, which was 8 yards on, I think it's a white die 1. or white die 3, whatever it is. I think it's a white die 1. But that doesn't hurt him nearly as much as a running back who averaged 4 or 5 yards per carry. 3rd down and 2 for the Colts. 37 seconds to go. They're not thinking touchdown the way they're managing this clock. They're thinking field goal attempt. I would like to see them leave themselves more time to keep running the ball and get down the field. It's 3rd and 2. They're going blocking back with Polk again. Nickel 3-3-5. I might have liked to see Reggie Bush in here in case the defense guesses run, because Polk's right guard I don't think is too hot, but that's just going off of memory. Dennis in a little bit of a tough spot. Dennis doing double coverage, and Nick Folks on a quarterback keeper is going to try and go up the middle. And I keep saying Nick Folks. I'm used to the jet kicker, Nick Folk. Nick Foles takes the handoff straight ahead for 4 yards, and now the Colts will call their first timeout. 30 seconds to go before the half. It's Colts 3, Seahawks 3. The Colts at the Seattle 30-yard line. Seattle is the home team, did have the better record. Hard for you to think of them as a favorite, though, when you take a look at this vicious Baltimore defense. Blocking back formation, Chris Polk is the running back. Foles looking over the middle for Polk. Only one linebacker in zone, Bobby Wagner. Polk makes the catch, 7-yard gain, 6 white die reading on the defense. Gives you 2nd down and 3, and that's another timeout for the Colts, who, with 1 timeout left, 22 seconds to go, you might see Reggie Bush here to try and pop that end run long game for a touchdown. You might see Chris Polk to try and pop one of those inside short gains, but then the clock becomes a problem. It is Reggie Bush in the blocking back. Defense goes nickel 3-3-5 again. How about a screen pass? I like to see a screen pass to get out of bounds. Dennis has been doubling. You might see a double on Jordy Nelson. How about a screen pass to the fullback here? Might be a nice little play. If not Foles' bread and butter, but let's see what happens. And the screen pass right to Jordy Nelson. There's no linebackers in the zone. And only 4 men on lines. That's going to be a wrong reading. You want to get a receiver here. It would be nice. Gets a receiver reading 10, 7 yards, and gets out of bounds at the Seattle 16-yard line. 1st down and 10 for the Colts as they are driving. Only 15 seconds to go. They have 1 timeout. 1st and 10 to Seattle 16. Seattle has that good defensive set of cards, which has a high interception on it. The Colts have been conservative all year. They want to get points. Then it's showing blitz. They're trying to goad him into throwing that short pass to get the interception. 3 wide for the offense. I don't think you're going to see a run here with that 3 wide. Sidney Rice is now covered by a 4. Neil did go to this formation often in the second half against me in one of our games this year. My pass defense is atrocious, however. So I'm really curious what's going to happen here. Defense showing blitz. Dennis, I find, usually will blitz when he shows blitz. And it's a flat pass again to Nelson. Defense is bringing the blitz. There's nobody there again, but it will be right now. But he gets a 6 wide die. 12 plus 13. Strat changing those cards a couple years ago. It used to be a plus 16 reading. Would have been a touchdown. But it's a plus 13 reading. 1st down to Jordy Nelson. Down at the Seattle 3-yard line. And does Neil call his final timeout? He does. Those are his only options. Final timeout or let it run down to 1 second. So he calls a timeout, 8 seconds to go. He could try and throw the ball, but if he gets sacked or if he gets a must-run reading for less than 3 yards, it's not going to be a touchdown. You got to call a play here, though. Would I go for the field goal? I would go for the touchdown here. Go for the touchdown in this play. There's no penalties in this league, so as long as it's if it's incomplete, you have good pass blocking. If it's incomplete, you get another play, right? And you can't get called for a penalty on that field goal attempt with only 1 second to go in the game. However, if you get sacked, and Dennis will probably free safety blitz, but you don't get the bonus for the linebackers. And sure enough, here comes Neil. He's coming out of that 3 wide. He's looking for the touchdown. This would be huge. This is the play of the game so far, although we joined late. 8 seconds to go in the half. The Colts have no timeouts. 1st and goal, the 3 go nickel. He goes 3 wide. It hurts your pass blocking. I don't like that formation. And Dennis goes nickel 3-3-5, and of course he's going to blitz. I really think that the Colts should have left the blocking back on the field this play. If he gets sacked here in a free safety blitz, he is taking points off the board. Now he has no timeouts left to change the formation. You can't run here because you don't always get it out of bounds. You got to throw a pass here. So he's going to throw a short pass Got a lot, plenty of guys to choose from, that's for sure. 3 guys covered by a 5, 1 guy covered by a 4. Reggie Bush covered by a 6. And he's looking for Sidney Rice. The defense is blitzing the free safety. Let's see what happens here. Nick Foles, the quarterback, drops back to pass, must run. He's got room, finds a touchdown in the end zone. Neil Shannon with the aggressive call says, I will go for the touchdown. Calls it from scrimmage. Held off the block. Oh, my goodness. He got the free safety reading on the pass rush. It was a 0-9. It was a 1-52 sack. And he did not get the sack. Dennis did not get the sack. And the result was a must run for a touchdown. That sack would have been the last play of the half because Neil had no more timeouts. And Dennis noting it here in the game commentary. Good half, close sack chance at the end there, exclamation mark. You can say that again. Oh, you get Reggie Bush, 0 against the free safety. Yeah, you were in shotgun. The free safety is down to a 9, but that was a 1-52 sack. 1-52 sack, and instead it's a touchdown on what would have been the last play of the half. And when you play this Colts team and that defense, any points they score are huge, just huge, because that defense is just a really tough group. Let's see what happened here. Looks like the Colts won the toss, so at least Dennis will console himself by getting possession to start the third quarter. Colts went 3 and out. Dennis went 3 and out. Colts went 3 and out. Dennis went 8 plays, 21 yards, missed a field goal from the Baltimore 22. Again, Graham Cano, not the best kicker in the world. Then you had Baltimore 3 and out, so the Colts went 3 and out in their first 3 possessions. Dennis 3 and out. Like I said, great defense for Baltimore and pretty solid defense for Dennis. Colts offense did not light up the scoreboard this year. Colts finally 5 plays, 22 yards, kicked a field goal late first quarter. That was 18 seconds to go here. Then Dennis got it 3 and out again for the 3rd time in 4 drives against that Colt defense. Colts went 5 plays, 14 yards, and then Nick Foles was picked off. That's when we joined the action, was right after that pickoff. And you can see this defense, 4 plays, no yards at a field goal, as they're getting ready to resume. And here's the kickoff to start the second half. The Colts kicking it off. And that looks like it's going to be the end zone for a touchback. 2 kickoffs, 2 touchbacks on the day for Justin Tucker, the Baltimore kicker. And we just double check. My broadcast seems to be going fine. You should be seeing the game on your screen, on your video, or if you have joined us, which I know Dave has. Here's the first play from scrimmage. Russell Wilson drops back to pass, firing for Deshaun Jackson, incomplete. 2nd down and 10, Seattle. At their own 20-yard line as we get started here with the third quarter. Wilson 5 of 13 on the day for 35 yards against that really tough Colts defense. It's a pitch off Frank Gore running right. And this is going to be a problem. Gore only gains 1 yard as J.R. Sweezy could not make the block. He's a 4. Dennis's old 4s on the offensive line. When you're playing this monstrous, excellent run defense with 6-5-5-5, I think, across the front 4, ideally you'd have some blocking readings go your way, but when you've got nothing but 4s, you really can't count on that. So it's a real tall order for the Seahawk offense. The touchdown at the end of the half was so huge. Seahawks come out in a 3 wide with Frank Gore as the lone back, operating in the pistol formation. Colts go dime 3-2-6. They bring a man up into looking, it looks like. Wilson drops back to pass. He's in the scramble, only gets a yard before he's brought down. And that'll be 4th and long for Seattle as they again struggle to crack this Colt defensive unit. 4th and 8, Shane Leckler with a very good punt, 52 yards to the 2-back. That'll be Darren Sproles, which is what Seattle wants to see. Keep it away from Tandon Doss. Sproles calls the fair catch. Colts will take over, and bad coverage, too, for the Hawks on that 7-8-12. So watch for that. Tandon Doss gets an opportunity. 1st and 10 Colts at their own 26. Chris Ivory in the game as the lone back with Rhett Ellison, the blocking back. Nick Foles quarterbacking, Des Bryant, Jordy Nelson, your receivers. Zach Ertz, the tight end. Foles drops back to pass. He's looking for the great Des Bryant, defense blitzing and double teaming. Foles with an interception split, short pass right, but it's incomplete. That was only a 2 to 3 interceptions reading on Foles' card on short pass right, and the split was a 4. Almost any other quarterback in the set. That's an interception. 3 wide for the Colts. Dennis showing blitz out of the nickel 3-3-5. Extra defensive back 4 covering Sidney Rice. And it's a draw play up the middle to Reggie Bush. Defense was blitzing. And Bush beats the nose tackle. That is Geno Atkins getting nerfed down to a 4 from a 5 in the 4-3. And sure enough, Reggie Bush, defensive left tackle, 0 plus 13. White die 5, and that's a 13-yard gain. First down for Baltimore at their own 39. They've moved the ball pretty well since we have joined the game in progress. First down at 10. Handoff inside right to Chris Polk. Defense guessing run while flooding the looking pass. It's a defensive end reading. Again, those 4s on the Dennis's defense on the left side. That time hurting him. Veteran Brian Roberson could not make the play. It's a 6-yard gain for Polk on an off-tackle right. Not what Dennis was hoping for with that accurate play call. 2nd and 4 Baltimore at their own 45, leading 10-3 early in the third quarter in this autumn wind AFC Divisional playoff game. Chris Ivory, the lone back again. I bet Neil runs it here. I don't think Dennis has called run probably with Ivory in the game. It's a looking pass. Dennis blitzed everyone, though. No men in zone, but it will be right on the offense's card. But Folks hits that 7. I keep saying Folks. I can't get his name right. It's Nick Foles. Foles. Foles gets a 7 plus 7. First down. He's 11 of 18 on the day, 117 yards. Des Bryant's second catch on the ball game for 14 yards. First and 10 Baltimore, the Seattle 48. Foles drops back to pass. He's looking deep for Des Bryant, but he's double covered. And Foles will wisely throw that towards the sideline, and it's incomplete. Good diagnosis there by Dennis Crowley, double-teaming Des Bryant correctly. Second down and 10. Points here would be huge, not only with the Colts defense, but with the way they are shutting down the Seattle offense tonight. Chris Polk, the lone back. Defense in their standard 4-3 set. When I say lone back, I mean a blocking back formation. And Foles going for the old double bomb. He's looking deep for Des Bryant again. This time it's man-on-man as the defense incorrectly double-teamed, but it's incomplete on Foles' card. Sandwiched in between a must-run and interception, the split reading. But aggressive play call by Neil Shannon, not going too conservative, up 10-3. He wants to make that AFC Championship game. That's what he wants to do. We got 3 wide, 1 halfback shotgun formation for the Colts on 3rd and 10 from the Seattle 48. Sidney Rice, your third receiver. Reggie Bush, the lone back. Defense showing blitz. Dennis has been blitzing heavily. We'll see if it burns him. Maybe he's trying to get an interception or the sack. We'll see. Foles drops back to pass. He's looking for Des Bryant. Defense did not blitz, but double-teamed Sidney Rice. And the throw is picked off. 4 men in the zone, picked up by Seattle. And he's got room. Picked off by Pac-Man Jones, who has calmed down as he has become a mature, older man. Ran it back for 20 yards to the Colt 47, ending that drive. Full second interception on the day. I would imagine both of the defense's card. Those good defenses have some good interceptions there, especially with 4 men. Now, of course, the Colts are excellent. So let's see what happens if Russell Wilson throws downfield. Wilson throwing a screen pass over to Frank Gore, and Gore catches it. Rambles 15 yards down to the Colt 32. I missed the defensive play call there, but it was a receiver reading. Failed double team attempt. Looks like he may have double teamed with the linebacker. That's what he did, leaving Gore uncovered. And you get a wrong card. Another screen pass to Gore. Defense again looking to run, and that's going to be complete for what looks like 15 yards. A short game reading. My card image not going all the way down for some reason. I can't even drag it. I think that was a 12 short gain on Russell Wilson's card. We have one user dropping. It wasn't me, so I don't know if the game is going to come to a brief halt here. I sure hope not, because we're in a good rhythm, and I hope for better communication here. Let's see what happens. We have a user dropping. The Seahawks are driving. The Colts were in seemingly good shape, had a real nice drive going, had crossed into Seattle territory Colts were driving rather, but the Nick Foles was intercepted by Pac-Man Jones, who returned it just across midfield into Seattle territory. A couple of very successful screen passes to Frank Gordon that had 30 yards. We're going to have a first down and 10 for the Seahawks in the Baltimore 17 when we return. There was an incorrect roster file or some sort of issue, and that caused Dennis Crowley to drop the game. And we're going to see what is going on here. I will stop screen sharing. I'll mute my mic a moment. Hopefully this is nothing that's going to impede the progress of the game. I'll be back momentarily. All right, guys, this is Tom. We should be back momentarily. Apparently, someone tried to watch the game without having the proper roster file for this year, for that year up, and it caused a crash or something like that. Now, these two guys have told me they're going to tell me when they're back up, but I am both of them, and no one's saying anything. So I am very concerned that they're already starting. So I'll try to connect. I don't know what is wrong with them. Now it says okay. I may have clicked too quickly. I probably did. See, I was concerned that they had already started, so I clicked to join the game, and now my stuff is not working. Because they did not communicate with me earlier, and now I'm angry. I gotta probably stop and reconnect. Alright, we're trying to join again. It's not responding. This is very upsetting. What is going on here? Well, they told me the game was up, but it's not connecting. Alright, bear with me, guys. I mean, they're in a key point in the game, but we're having some technical problems. And, of course, this thing puts itself in my way at the worst possible time. All right, guys, this is Tom. Supposedly they are back in business. Here we go. Apparently, someone tried to watch the game as a spectator while not having the 2013 roster loaded in their game, and it caused an incorrect roster file crash. So for all of you Strat fanatics out there, if you're ever joining a game, make sure you have that season loaded, or you will end up with a couple of very angry coaches. Especially when you're Dennis Crowley and you just watched 30 yards in 2 plays, and you're in the red zone with a chance to tie the game, and the game crashes because some guy doesn't have 2013 loaded. Here we go now, though. First down and 10 at long last. Hopefully this is broadcasting properly. I feel inclined to double check a few things here. And yes, it was. I'm going to go back to screen share. Normally these things go a little more smoothly, so forgive me for some of this technical difficulty. First down and 10, Seahawks blocking back. Does a first-round end run to Russell Wilson. Don't know how I feel about that. Doesn't have all the horrible minuses that quarterbacks usually do, but he gets a 6 in his card for -3. I guess not a bad call. 5, he gets a -8, so he is definitely has one of those pistol-type cards from when Strat put that rule in with all those zone read quarterbacks coming in for the 2012 NFL season. Bottom line is that Russell Wilson loses 3 yards here in the first play from the red zone. And it's 2nd and 13 Seattle. The Baltimore 28-24 to go in the game. Blocking back formation for the Hawks with Frank Gore in the backfield. Defense showing blitz. They do have plenty of good pass rushing matchups, in my view, in this ball game. And it's going to be end run to Russell Wilson again. Wilson has a hole. He runs to the end zone. Touchdown. Snake eyes for Russell Wilson. Dennis has got to love that. Extra point is good. The man, the myth, the legend, Russell Wilson, Captain Clutch for Dennis, does it again. 20-yard end run, snake eyes touchdown to tie the game against the Colts with 8 minutes to go. Wow. We got back just in time, true believers, and it is 10-10. The winner of this game will host the AFC Championship game against the Oakland Raiders. So this is a big game here. 10-10. Neil Shannon's got to be kicking himself. What do I do against this team? Foles drops back. He got double covered, and Jordy Nelson's a screen pass, and it's broken up thanks to the aggressive double teaming by the Seattle defense. Seattle looks like they had one linebacker double team and a safety double team. Looks like the safety was on Nelson because there was 2 men in zone. Receiver double teamed on Nick Foles' card. We're going to try and get back into a nice rhythm here. This has been a slow broadcast, and our apologies because of the technical difficulties and lack of communication from the Seattle sideline that caused us to miss over 1/4 of autumn wind Strat football action. 2nd down and 10, mid-third quarter. Colts at their own 20. Defense looking run with the nickel 3-3-5. It's going to be a short pass attempt to Sidney Rice into 4 men. And again, the 9 reading comes up the defense. Picked off 2-7-12. Picked off. Intercepted by Byron Maxwell, who was beaten by the bomb near the end of the first half. Nick Foles' 3rd interception as they keep throwing short pass against that high interception reading. And he's been hitting it more than he should, of course. And the Seahawks come out, screen pass to Gore, snuffed out by the defense. Receiver reading, -3. The dreaded 3 flat pass receiver reading on a running back on right is usually going to give you the goosh, as a friend of mine used to say, and result in a significant loss. 2nd and 13 Seahawks, they need to regain some yards, get in field goal range, make sure they can try and take the lead, and take advantage of this 3rd turnover against this excellent Colts defense. Colts going to be worried about a little bit about the run now at Russell Wilson after what happened last drive. Seattle ran it twice in a row. Inside run to Frank Gore, running left, and that's not the way you want to go when you're running the ball. Lost a yard. Again, 2nd time, defensive tackle -1 or +22. Paul Solier, the 5, made the play. It's hard to find a safe call against these excellent defenses. Even when you just want to run it and get 2 or 3 yards, these defensive readings will just kill you. You lose 2 yards with no men in zone on a wrong. 3rd and 14, Dennis going pistol. Got to be thinking probably thinking to get a few yards, get in field goal range. He knows the defense is thinking that. Nickel 3-3-5, and it's a handoff short enough up the middle for Frank Gore against a 4. Gets 3 yards, gets you just to the edge of field goal range. Graham Gano is going to come out for a 32-yard attempt, but we have the variable field goal reading in play here. I think Gano is 2 to 8 and something, 2 to 8 and 12 here, and sure enough, he gets the normal field goal reading. And a 6 is good. 13-10 reading for the Seahawks after Nick Foles' 3rd interception of the game. The kickoff goes deep into the end zone, like they all seem to do nowadays, and that's a touchback. So we've got 1st and 10 for the Colts, who have got to be irritated that Nick Foles keeps throwing interceptions. All 4 kickoffs for Gano were touchbacks. Foles drops back to pass, has double coverage, comes under pressure. Here comes Ryan Robes. It's a sack. 8-yard loss. Nick Foles thrown for an 8-yard loss in 1st and 10. The Seahawk defense all geeked up right now. 2nd and 18 for Baltimore, their own 12. Trailing 13-10, lead 3rd quarter. You know the 12s are out in full force at this point in the ball game as the defense getting the job done. 2nd down and 18 is going to be a screen pass right to Reggie Bush. Seattle has a 6 there. This is not looking good for the Colts, and it's incomplete. Well, Bush has some decent yardage there on the card. 5, 8, 9, 6. 3rd and 18. Shannon likes to play it, I think, conservatively in some of these spots. I think you might see a run call and then a punt and turn it over to his defense, but maybe not. Let's see what he does. 3rd and 18 at his own 12. 4:48 to go. Goes 3 wide with a shotgun. Defense going nickel 3-3-5. He's going for it. He's going deep down the field to Jordy Nelson. 2 men in zone. Let's see what happens here. Foles doesn't find it when open. Looks for room to run. Gains only 2 yards. 4th and 16 from their own 14. Colquitt to punt. Defense looking block, of course. It's a good punt for Colquitt. 51-yard is going to be caught at the 35 roughly by Seattle. And it's a modest 3-yard return by Golden Tate, who has a very nice card there. He's a 2-back for the Hawks. And let's see what happens now. Seahawks leading 13-10. 1st and 10 at their own 38. 3:54 to go. Late 3rd quarter. Dennis, not a conservative guy by any stretch of the imagination. Sure enough, he's going deep to Deshaun Jackson. Got man-to-man coverage against the 6. And Wilson can't find him. That's incomplete on Wilson's card. An 8 reading. Defense had 2 men in the flat pass zone to support Kolomisi's 5. And Dennis was aggressive. Looking for the 10 long gain or maybe a must-run reading for Russell Wilson. Wilson struggling to pass today. 2nd down and 10. Defense double-team Vincent Jackson. Pitch out to Frank Gore. Defensive end reading Jared Allen makes the play for 1 yard. You are not going to get a lot of yards on those defensive readings against the Colts. They do have mostly 5s. It's 6-5-5-5. Cameron Wake, the left end 5. So you can't beat one of these guys, but Dennis has not been able to do it today. 3rd and 9. Russell Wilson operating out of the pistol. 3 wide set. Defense goes nickel 3-3-5. That means 2 guys are covered by 4s. It's going to be a bomb to Golden Tate. Man-to-man coverage against a backup 4. And Wilson throws a 9. Incomplete on his own card. 10 was a long gain. I know Dennis agonizes when he misses by 1 number. Some of us don't care. He agonizes. Shane Leckler on to punt. It's a nice 47-yard punt, but Tandon Doss. It looks like he's going to have a chance to receive this at about his 14-yard line, and he calls a fair catch. Not the reading Baltimore was hoping for. Talking about missing by 1, that was a 4 fair catch. 3 was the touchdown. Colts go blocking back. 1 running back. Reggie Bush checks in the ball game. And it's a pitch out right to Reggie Bush. Defense has a man in zone. That's a linebacker 6. They're also double-teaming Zez, blitzing on the outside. 8 reading. That's a -1 yard for Bush. Good blitz by Dennis. That would have been maybe an 8 or 10-yard gain on the 0 linebacker with a good run. I don't have the good run memorized like I do the average. 2nd and 11. Colts, 1:48 to go. Late 3rd quarter. Exciting ball game here. 13-10. Chris Polk has played well today. Checks in. Inside run to Polk. Defense again has a 6 in zone. Neal needs to hit his offense's card. He does. 7 short game reading on Polk's card. 1st down yardage. 13-yard run for Chris Polk. That was a white die 1, so I'm going to assume that 3 is the one that crushes you back to your rushing average. But even that's an 8-yard gain for Polk, who had averaged, I believe, 7.9 a carry last year in the NFL, somewhere around there. You see he's got 6 carries for 47 yards today. He's been the most effective rusher for the Colts. 1st and 10, pitch out left to Reggie Bush. This time the zone is free. Defense double teaming Bush, and he gets that 8. 1st down, 12 yards. Colts have had some decent success rushing sporadically here in the game, and they're certainly having it here with 2 back-to-back runs for 1st down yardage. But they started out at their own 14, so they're only at their own 38. Foles drops back to pass. He's looking for Zach Ertz, single coverage, and it's caught. And Ertz is going far all the way. Zach Ertz cannot go all the way, but he broke a few tackles, and it was, I guess, was that a long gain? It looks like, yes, it was a 12 clear long gain on the defense, 35-yard reception. The Colts are in business. As we move into the 4th quarter, it's 1st down and 10 Baltimore at the Seattle 27-yard line. Reggie Bush takes the inside handoff. Zach Ertz drawing double coverage after that display of receivership. And Bush gets an 8+6 reading on the off tackle. Pretty decent off tackle card. I'll give you some positive yardage. Not the best in the world, but it's not bad. 2nd and 4 at the Seattle 21. I think Bush is ranked about the number 20 back in the set in SOMIFA by NFL Ed. 2nd and 4 at the Seattle 21. Chris Polk checks in the game. Interesting call. Dennis knows he likes to run Polk. Polk can lose yards on right. Push you back into dreaded run containment. I would like to see Bush stay in the game, maybe, but we'll see. Neil knows what he's doing here. It's going to be an inside handoff to Polk. Defense double-teaming Jordy Nelson against a 4. This should be good for the Colts. And sure enough, Polk easily dancing around the defenders for an 8-yard gain. He's got 7 carries for 55 yards, strat balling every step of the way. Now, Dennis loves to strat ball. Now he's being strat balled. How does it feel now, Dennis? You don't want to be strat balled. I hate being, well, I would say I hate it, but anyway, those are the rules. So you got to play by the rules, so I don't join the league. Anyway, 1st and 10, Nick Foles. Defense gets his run with Polk in the game again. Foles hits the defense's card for a 2-yard gain. That was to Chris Polk. As I receive an instant message asking for someone to help me, asking for me to help someone with the draft. Maybe after the game I'll look into that. 2nd down and 8 at the Seattle 11. Big drive here. You got to keep the Colts out of the end zone. Blocking back 1 halfback, it's Chris Polk, who's done yeoman's work today. 2 catches for 9 yards to go along with the success running the ball. Foles is going to put it in the air, looking for Des Bryant double-teamed. 4-man zone, that's incomplete. Neil's saying, I am not going to shy away from throwing the ball in the short pass zone, despite my 3 interceptions. I want the touchdown. Touchdown here would be huge. So hard to get into that Baltimore end zone. They've had 3 turnovers so far today. The Seahawks defense has had 3 interceptions of Nick Foles. 2 of them put them in good scoring position. They got to snake eyes to get their touchdown. So if the Colts got a touchdown here to go up by more than a field goal, I feel like that would be huge. So let's see if Baltimore stays aggressive here or settles to tie the game with a field goal. 3 wide going out of the shotgun formation. Sidney Rice, your 3rd receiver. Reggie Bush, the lone back. Dennis again showing blitz. He's going to bring Andy Jennings on the free safety blitz. You know he's going to do that. He almost sacked him last time in this situation. Reggie Bush made the block somehow. It's a flat pass right to Jordy Nelson. There's a 6 there. You want a receiver reading, get one of those 5s or something on Jordy's card. Instead, it's caught for a 2-yard loss. Good call by Dennis. Not a bad play call by Neil. Maybe something good happens there. Instead, it's going to be a field goal on 4th down. It's good. That's a 2-11. Field goal ties the game at 13. Early 4th quarter, the kick goes down to the goal line. Dennis is 2 back. Not that sensational, I think. Perhaps Jordan Todman, someone like that. So he's going to take a touchback, not risk the fumble. And you got 1st and 10. Seattle, their own 20. It's 13-13. 3 minutes into the 4th quarter. Autumn win, divisional AFC playoff game. 1st down and 10. Frank Gore takes the pitch out wide. 11 gains 1 yard. I don't know why my thing won't show the 11s and 12s too clearly, but I can't adjust it right now. 2nd down and 9. Gore, 35 yards rushing on 18 carries today. Not what you want to see. Blocking back 1 halfback. It's a pitch out to Gore again. Defense guessing run. He wants a defense guard. Rolls 11 again. And that's +1 right and wrong, apparently. 3rd down and 8. Seattle at their own 22. Remember Russell Wilson, so dangerous with the must run on the short pass in this situation.
So Dennis might go for that, but you get the 4 men working against him this way. And an excellent card. It's a short pass to Deshaun Jackson, who is not double covered. He is covered by 6, however. And you look at that card, 2 to 6 is just automatically incomplete. Dennis rolls the snake eyes. They're incomplete. Neil would have liked to see a 9. Interception going the other way for a change. 43-yard punt for Shane Leckler. That's going to be down to Tandon Doss at the 25. He's got plenty of room to return this possibly. Makes a move, but a tackle for a 0-yard gain. Did miss the fumble by 1. Also missed a 19-yard return by 1. I'm not a guy who cares if I'm missing by 1. If I miss it, I miss it. What does it matter? It's all math. But a lot of guys get upset about that sort of thing. Oh, I missed it by 1. Oh, I should have rolled a 4. Inside handoff to Reggie Bush. Defense double-teaming Jordy Nelson. And Bush finds room and runs for a 7-yard gain. 2nd down and 3 Colts at their own 42. So that's a very nice way to start off this drive. In the 4th quarter of this game to see who will host the AFC Championship game for Autumn Wind here in the 2014 season. I think we do calendar year and not Strat card year in Autumn Wind. I don't recall. I'm a rookie coach in this league. I can't even trade. Maybe next year. 2nd 3, handoff with the middle. Chris Ivory. Defense keying successfully. And Chris Ivory's going to lose a yard as Seattle defenders were all over the backfield. What a great diagnosis by Dennis. A lot of us do it. We go to the backup running back. We never use, put him in there. They're going to guess passes. Carter's not that great. Good coach sees that coming a mile away. You guess run. Maybe put a couple guys in there or key him. And a key spot that worked out here. Now Nick Foles will look deep for Des Bryant. He's double covered. But you get a dump off with plenty of time. But it is stopped just short. Von Miller, the great linebacker, tackling the blocking back for only a 2-yard gain. 4th and 2. Baltimore punting for their own 43. Get a very fine punt. 40 yards down to the 9-yard line. I think Dennis's one back is not that great. It is Golden Tate. Perhaps he's the only back. Rolls a 2-yard return on the opponent's special teams. It's only 8 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter, folks. 8:06 to go. 13-13. Colts Seahawks. Autumn Wind Divisional playoffs. Who will host the AFC Championship game? Seattle at their own 11. First down. Pitch out to Frank Gore. Gains 7 yards. Defense looking pass. 2nd down and 3. That's a first down if it's not an excellent card, but it's only +7 on those excellent cards that the Colts have this year. 2nd down and 3, Seattle. 7:30 to go. Another pitch out to Frank Gore. Working that left side. The dreaded 5 gets wrong. There's a loose ball. The Colts recovered at the 18-yard line. Oh, my goodness. Frank Gore running wide. Only a 3.1 fumble chance. Rolls a 2. And linebacker Stephen Tulloch recovering for the Colts. Oh, my goodness. What a turn of events. Seattle. The defense had forced 3 turnovers. Now the offense gives one away in extremely unlikely fashion at a very bad time of the game to be turning the ball over. The Colts on the doorstep at the Seattle 18, 1st and 10. Chris Polk. It's a looking past 2 Seattle defenders in the zone, but they guess run. So you want to get a Nick Foles card. Interception split, which is 2 only. So that's incomplete. I'm sure Seattle will take that. They'd love to get a 3 on the defense's card for the clean pick, but they'll take the incompletion here. Pivotal that you keep these Colts out of the end zone because that defense is tough to score touchdowns against. Maybe you get a field goal, but boy, that's a tough defense that Baltimore has. Gave up 12 points a game. Okay? 2nd and 10 for the Colts. 6:54 to go at the Seattle 18. What a ball game. Inside handoff to Polk. There's a 6th linebacker in the zone, so this is going to be my card or your card. And it's my card, but only a 2-yard gain on Polk. He rolled a 3 + 2. That's a great card that Polk has. Obviously, the 5 is not going to get you anywhere, but there's a couple only a 3 might be the only other bad reading on there, and he hit it. 2-yard game. 3rd down and 8 for the Colts. 6:18 to go at the Seattle 16. I'm Neil Shannon. What do? Do I tempt fate? Do I throw a short pass into 4 men and risk another interception when the Strat gods seem to be against me when it comes to that play? Do I play conservative and kick a field goal? Then I watch maybe Russell Wilson with his magic lead Dennis down the field for a touchdown. What will happen here? Looks like the offense is going 3 wide. Out of the shotgun, Reggie Bush again, the only back. Defense showing blitz again. Dennis love to get a free safety blitz sack. Maybe a little sack fumble action. Polk's got 8 carries, 57 yards. Not likely to be running here. It's a possibility to run Reggie Bush in the game. So Polk is, of course, not running. Bad call on my part. You can do a linebacker draw. Reggie Bush against that 4. Let's see what's going to happen here. One thing I'm confident MD Jennings will be blitzing. The rest of it, I don't know about. Well, maybe he'll drop MD into look and pass. It's going to be a flat pass right to Sidney Rice. Jennings is blitzing. 6 defender again. Linebacker in zone short game, but that's just easily knocked down by Von Miller. He didn't have to try. Just stuck his hand out. I said, get that out of here. I'm a 6. What are you doing? Justin Tucker with the field goal attempt from 33 yards out, and it's good. 16-13. Baltimore takes the lead. 5:42 to go. Kickoff, and guess what, folks? Another touchback. I think we're 9 for 9 on touchbacks, perhaps, and kickoffs this game. Very exciting NFL changes to eliminate returns in the modern game. Frank Gore takes a handoff on first down, gains only 1 yard as Craig Urban could not make the block. 2nd and 9, 5 minutes to go. Seahawks need to get a drive going here and try and tie this game. It's a run call by the defense. Short pass to Deshaun Jackson. Receiver reading 6+17. Big play for the Hawks. And I heard the dreaded double click. I hope we don't have... What does it say? Other player cannot respond or whatever? Other player is not ready, I think is what it says. I'm trying to remember. But we don't have that, thank God. Blocking back with Frank Gore. 1st and 10 Hawks at their own 38. It's a pitch out to Gore. Gore's got room for the first time of the day, and he gets plenty of yardage. Frank Gore hits the 7 short gain on wrong. Gets a 17-yard gain. The Hawks are in Colt territory. First down Seattle at the Baltimore 45, trailing 16-13, 3:54 to go in the game. Winner hosts the AFC Championship game. Wilson drops back to pass, looking for Deshaun Jackson. 3-minute zone, throws incomplete. Right between 2 receiver readings, it was guessed right. He was covered by a 6. That's Dolphin defender Brent Grimes. 2nd and 10 Hawks. I'm predicting a Russell Wilson run somewhere in here. Designed run. 2nd and 10 Seattle. 3:36 to go. At the Baltimore 45. Down. Oh, no. Run call by the defense. Play action. Deshaun Jackson, another receiver reading 8+15. I don't know. This guy needs a field goal to tie the game. I know he's running well. I don't know if you want to see Deshaun Jackson, Vincent Jackson running free on run calls, but that's what we've seen. 2 plays this drive totaling 32 yards, and now the Hawks are in field goal range. Dennis thinking touchdown and victory, not field goal and tie. I can guarantee you that much. Russell Wilson, 10 of 22 for 94 yards. And there you go, design pitch out for Wilson to his left. Gets the dreaded 5 fumble, no yard reading. Obviously, we play individual fumbles. That's a no yard reading. And we all hate that. The guy is wrong. We're running the ball. We got a good card. You get 5 no yards on our card. We hate that. As strat coaches everywhere. If you're a strat coach, you hate when that happens to you. 2nd down and 10, Seahawks, 2:24 to go at the Baltimore 30. Don't lose. Oh, boy, Baltimore showing blitz. Does Dennis go up top to Vincent Jackson, perhaps? Covered by a 4. Is Baltimore going to double team? Does he play it safe around with Franco? How about a screen pass? How about a flat pass left to Michael Robinson? That's what I would do. Come on, Dennis. What do you say? Designed rollout for Russell Wilson again. Going back to the well. Defensive end -4+6. Oh, my goodness. Jared Allen, the veteran, is a 5. Defensive end -4+6 at this point in the game. He blows the play. Gives up 6 yards, but Dennis has been getting killed on those 5s, making the play in the ground game all day long. And this one was going his way, and it was about time. And that makes sense. But what a result that was. Wow. That would have been 3rd and 14 to 34. You're not even really in good field goal range. Instead, 2 minutes to go in a playoff game. To host the AFC title game, you got 3rd and 4 at the 24. And it's another pass to Deshaun Jackson, a single coverage. And Russell Wilson fires in there, and it is caught complete. Looks like that was a 12 on Wilson's card. That's the only number cut off on my card image. A 12-yard completion to Deshaun Jackson, who is lighting up Brent Grimes on this drive. The 3rd catch of the drive for Jackson. All 3 catches of the game. He's got 44 yards. 90 seconds to go. 90 seconds to go. Both teams have all timeouts. Seahawks trailing the Colts 16-13, 1st and 10 at the Baltimore 12. Who will move on to the AFC title game and be only 1 game away from the Autumn Wind Super Bowl, a 30-team league where you get a chance to play for the championship? Neil Shannon's Colts or Dennis Crowley's Seahawks? Russell Wilson is the quarterback. Frank Gore the running back. Blocking back set, 4-3 defense. 1st and 10 Seattle at the Baltimore 12. Russell Wilson looks left, looks right, reading the defense. And there's going to be a pass play looking for Deshaun Jackson again. 4 minutes zone this time. Watch out for the dreaded 9. Dennis being aggressive. You know he wants a must-run reading here. So the defense is called Defender X. Frank Grimes finally coming through and making a play on this drive. Deflecting that ball away. Neil Shannon eyeing that 9 column on his defense. 2 8, 11, and 12 picked off. We've seen 3 go the other way on that reading. 2nd down and 10 for the Hawks. The Baltimore 12. Dennis is not a conservative coach. He wants to win. Go big or go home, he says many times to me. I like to say you can go big and go home. You might throw a pick there. But we'll see what happens. Oh, designed and run. Russell Wilson, only one guy there. Wilson gets an 11 in his card. He can't see. Looks like it's a 6-yard gain. And, yes, that's a plus 6-yard gain. 11 on Russell Wilson's card. Designed and run against a free safety showing blitz but did not blitz. He's got to let the clock run. Don't do a hurry up here, Dennis. Let the clock run a little bit here. You got timeouts. Don't be like Pete Carroll and ruin the clock management here. The Colts call timeout. That was the delay. Okay, that's more reasonable. Save some time for yourself to try and win the game. God forbid to give him a touchdown. Seattle can get a first down on this possession, though. Russell Wilson now tired. You can still run him and only lose 1 yard off of it. 3rd and 4 at the Baltimore 6. 1:15 to go. Blocking back formation. 4-3 defense. Touchdown gives Seattle a lead. Field goal to tie. We could be looking at overtime, as Dan Patrick would say. What will the play call be? Defense not showing blitz. It's a pitch out to Frank Gore right. There's a linebacker 5 in zone. Defense getting pass. Offensive end +2 or -2. Michael Rivera, the blocking 4, makes the block. So it's 2-yard gain. 4th and 2 at the Baltimore 4. Dennis is aggressive, but Dennis, you got to kick a field goal here. Graham Gano comes out for what will be in the NFL a gimme, but a strat. No gimmies. That's my math is suddenly failing me. Is it an 18-yard attempt? No, 21-yard attempt. Okay. Baltimore called timeout. 1:07 to go. This play has taken a long time to unfold. Dennis conversing with Russell Wilson on the sideline. Russell, I think you're great. I'm so glad you're on my team. Gives him a pat on the back. 4th down and 2. Graham Gano. Dennis Crowley, I need a minute. Uh-oh. Thank God for commercial breaks, as this timeout would probably be whistled in more quickly by the referees, the autumn wind referees. I'm sure they work the rest of the Strat League circuits. Maybe some IFA. Maybe some SFFL. Actually, well, the autumn wind, they don't need very many referees. There are no penalties. I don't know what they do there. One guy manages the timeouts. 4th and 2. Here's the field goal attempt. It is up and good on a 10. The gimme field goal. So we got a tie game, folks. 1 minute to go. 16-16. Here comes the kickoff. I can't wait for the excitement. And no, it's another touchback. 10 for 10. 10 for 10 on those, I think. Or 9 for 9 at least. 1st and 10 Colts at their own 20. 16-16. 1 minute to go. The Colts have 1 timeout. Now watch out here. Seattle's got 3 timeouts. The Colts struggle. You see Seattle use those timeouts. Maybe get a pump block on Colquitt. Maybe a good punt return. Long field goal to win it. Watch out for that. Reggie Bush is the back. Blocking back formation. Defense goes nickel 3-3-5. I predict a pitch out to Bush. It's a long pass to Jordy Nelson. He's being double teamed by the free safety. 2 blitzes. It's on Foles. Caught a 4 is incomplete. Oh boy, that 4 would have been a long gain on a pitch out to Bush. It would have been a 38-yard run. Of course, my team went 6 and 10, so maybe I shouldn't be second guessing anybody's play call here. But Dennis is going to double team those wideouts. He's been aggressively double teaming Nelson and Bryant. Of course, there's Sidney Rice in the mix as well. You got to watch out for this here. If you're going to punt, if you have to punt and you don't use any time and you get the ball 37 seconds left and 3 timeouts at about the 45, you could be in trouble. You could lose the game here. So be careful here, Neil. 2nd down and 10, Baltimore at their own 20. 3 wide, nickel 3-3-5. He's going to throw into it again, it looks like. And no, this time pitches out to Reggie Bush. There's a 6 in the zone. That's probably not going to work out good. Got a 6 on Bush, has got a 3-yard gain. Lets the clock run. Dennis calls timeout. There you go. Not going to hit that 4 twice in a row, I guess. 3rd down and 7. Baltimore Colts at their own 23. Both teams know we are 1 score from victory. 1 score from the AFC Championship game at home against Tony Romo and the Oakland Raiders. No, it's not Tony Romo on that team. Wrong league. Against Jake Locker and the Oakland Raiders. Tim Bollier's club with LaShawn McCoy and Antonio Brown and all kinds of receiving weapons. 3rd and 7. Colts at their own 23. 45 seconds to go. 3 wide, 1 halfback, no shotgun, so he can run inside if he wants. Nickel going 3-3-5. I predict you'll see a draw play up the middle. Make Dennis use a timeout, maybe hit a box or a nose tackle 4 and get a 1st down. Let's see what happens. Sure enough, draw up the middle to Bush. The linebackers a 5. Defense is double teaming Sidney Rice and playing 1 man at long pass. Bush gets the dreaded 5 no-yard reading again. Sets up 4th down. Seattle quickly calls timeout. 37 seconds left. Punting from their own 23, the Colts are. Seattle's going to go for the block on Dustin Colquitt, looking for that 12. Gets 8, 47 yards. Golden Tate from his own 30 is a very fine card. Let's see what happens on this return. And Tate returns for 5 yards on a 5 reading. Baltimore has good coverage. 1 timeout left. 22 seconds to go. Seattle at their own 35-yard line. Graham Gano, nothing special, as any of you who watch the NFL are aware. So you got to get down. Well, look, at this point in the game, you'll be happy with a 52-yard miracle 2 to 3 attempt. So you got to get about, ideally, you get about 35 yards. You settle for about 30. Offense going 3 wide, 2 running backs. Defense going dime 3-2-6. Let's see what the play call is here. I have no recommendations. Seattle taking their time with this one. Well, look, Baltimore's got to keep 2 guys a long pass. Might move a guy up to looking from the short pass. And it's a pitch out left to Frank Gore. He gets a 5, no yards. We are seeing that just too frequently here in the last few minutes of play. It has been rearing its ugly head. Gore did knock it out of bounds. The Seahawks have to call defense. I thought that was 22 seconds last play. Maybe when you're spectating, things often go awry. I have no idea. Maybe it was the fastest pitch out in NFL history, but the game is showing 2nd and 10, 22 seconds still on the clock. No timeouts remaining for the Hawks. Ball at their own 35, and it's going to be a short pass to Deshaun Jackson. 4-man in zone, probably looking for a receiver reading of 3-man in zone. It's a 2 on Russell Wilson's caught right is incomplete. I think Russell had a very long run last year, maybe 50-something yards. I know he did this year. A little must-run snake eyes would be devastating if you were on the Baltimore sideline. 3rd and 10, 15 seconds to go. No timeouts at their own 35. That one referee who handles the timeouts, I think he does the coin toss as well, since there are no penalties and no one win. He's getting ready. He's warming the thumb up for the old overtime toss. But maybe not. Stranger things have happened. 3rd and 10. It's a short pass to Golden Tate. Receiver reading his card, gets right, and Tate gets about 12 yards up to the 47. And Seattle looks like they're going to have to spike the ball with 1 second to go. That is what they go for. So it's going to be Hail Mary time. If I know Dennis, most of these guys can go all the way, if you know what I mean. Hey, now. Wilson 12 of 26 for 118 yards today. But his dad would tell you he's a winner. Got some clutch plays late in the game. Blah, 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 blah. 2nd and 10, Seahawks at their own 47. 1 second to go. We need the old 53-yard play. Statue of Liberty. Some kind of trick. Hook and ladder. Duriel Harris. I remember that worked in the playoffs. Miami against San Diego about 34 years ago. The infamous Miami-San Diego overtime Kellen Winslow playoff game. Was it the 1981 postseason, perhaps? I don't recall. And he's looking for Deshaun Jackson. 3-minute zone. He's open for the must run. Gets only 1 yard, and the clock's going to expire. Russell's longest run was only 27 last year on the must run column. So we're going overtime, folks. And new overtime rules in effect. You are a Strat football coach, so I will not tell you the new overtime rules because I'm going to assume that you know them. First team to score only wins if it's a touchdown. If you get a field goal on your first drive, the other guy gets 1 possession. Good luck in OT. And here's the kickoff. Wow, just wow. To mix it up, it's a touchback. Just, Seattle won the toss, and this being Stratomatic, they were forced to receive. They did not elect to. They were forced to receive. Seahawks come out. Now, Russell Wilson's fatigued, so might not see too much end running. Well, Dennis might do it to show you he can do it. He's that type of guy. Frank Gore is the running back to Deshaun Jackson. Vincent Jackson has not seen too much action because he's been double-teamed a lot. He's covered by 4. No interception splits have come this way. Pitch out to Frank Gore, who's gotten going late in the regulation. And it's, again, a missed block, this time by Detroit Lion Riley Reef. Only a 1-yard gain. This offensive line, all force. Dennis doesn't get a good reading on his running backs card. It's hard to get some yardage in this matchup. 2nd down and 9. Seahawks on 20. We're in overtime, folks. Frank Gore takes a pitch out again. And this time Riley Reef makes the block. He says, I am an NFL player. I can occasionally do something good. And it's a 6-yard gain, 3rd and 3. A clutch block, if that exists, by Riley Reef. 3rd down and 3 Seahawks. And they're on 27, a big 3rd down. Don't want to punt it to Tandon Doss in the open field here. Don't want to punt at all. Kyrie Robinson comes in. Now, he had a 4-yard average. I know why, because I have him in another league. So even if he gets relegated on the low carry rule, he could still get a first down. Dennis has got to be worried about Frank Gore's attempts. Inside handoff to Kyrie Robinson to the left. Defense guessing pass. 5, 0 yards. Again, 4th one of those in about the last 8 minutes of autumn wind action here. So it's going to be a punt. Tandon Doss very dangerous. The punt's going to go to the 2-back. Darren Stroles, it's a booming punt. Looks like about 52 yards. Stroles is going to get it at about his own 20. And gets a nice return. Some shaky coverage, a 9-yard return out to the 30-yard line. Now Seattle failed to score in their first possession, so now we are in sudden death. Baltimore, Seattle. Winner hosts the AFC Championship game in autumn win this year. Montreal Alouettes losing in a major upset to the Oakland Raiders in the other divisional playoff game in this conference. Sudden death. First team to score wins. Chris Polk is in the game for the Colts. The Colts have got more carries in the backfield, more good carries than Seattle does, that's for sure. That'll help them the longer this game goes on, and it could go on forever. Because if no one scores, we keep playing. I don't care how tired these guys are. It's a screen pass to Jordy Nelson, looking pass. Defense blitzing 2 guys. If you get a flat pass sack, instead you get a defender reading, and it's incomplete. William Gay with a nice play. Would have been a loss of yardage, but it's a pass over the middle, so that just can't happen. How you going to lose yards passing over the middle? Come on. That can't happen. Falls 15 of 33, 154, 3 picks. So a lot of defense in this game, but the offense has got it going late in the 4th quarter when they had to. Chris Polk again in the game. He's got the good running threat. And sure enough, to play action to Jordy Nelson. 4 men in the zone, but Foles fires it in there. A 16-yard completion to the outstanding wide receiver for the NFL's Green Bay Packers. Nelson now with 5 catches for 63 yards on the game. He's been a favorite target of Foles tonight as we close in on 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And just like that, 16-yard gain. Foles has got good yardage on that short pass card. The Colts with their own 46. And looking for Jordy Nelson again. He's double-teamed this time by M.D. Jennings. And this time it's broken up. Receiver reading on the defense with 4 men in zone on a 6. But obviously double-team, that's not going anywhere. So excellent double-team by Dennis. Most good strat coaches will double-team aggressively. If you're not double-teaming aggressively, you're probably losing a lot of games. Second down and 10. Chris Polk is the running back. Blocking back formation. Colts at their own 46. Their kicker, again, can kick it from the 44-yard line, 2-7. So looking for Jordy Nelson. Got a single coverage this time against William Gay. And Foles is going to check down to a secondary receiver, and it's caught for an 8-yard gain by former Stanford tight end, I believe, Zach Ertz. 3rd and 2 at the Seattle 46. Folks, Justin Tucker is 2-7 from the 44-yard line. But those 2 yards give the Colts a first down. So they keep possession, they get a first down, and they're in field goal range to win the game and go to the AFC Championship game at home if they can get 2 yards right now. They could even go for it, although I don't think Neil likes that approach. He's got a great defense. So 3rd and 2 at the Seattle 46. Here in the overtime, who cares how much time is left? Next team that scores wins. It's going to be a play-action pass to Jordy Nelson. Defense guessing pass, blitzing everybody. And Foles fires incomplete under a little bit of pressure, perhaps. And 4th and 2, and Colquitt's going to punt it. And you know that Dennis has got to go for the block here because there's no penalties. And he is showing block. It's a coffin corner punt. And Colquitt gets the punt off. Not the best coffin corner punt I've ever seen. It is a 27-yard punt out of bounds at the Seattle 19-yard line. So the Hawks come out. Frank Gore is now fatigued. Russell Wilson is now fatigued in terms of running the ball. Gore's going to take the pitch out anyway. Gets a defensive end reading. Jared Allen wraps him up. Only a 1-yard gain. Allen did miss that tackle near the end of regulation. That was huge. But these fives have made every other play. 71 yards rushing for Gore on 28 carries. But he had some good runs in the fourth quarter when the Seahawks needed it. 2nd down and 9. And Seattle, Russell Wilson drops back looking deep downfield for Deshaun Jackson. He's double-teamed, though, by safety Jarius Byrd. That's going to be incomplete. Dennis is running out of perhaps options here in the running game. I don't know who his 3rd string back is, but against this defense, what are you going to do? You got to think that the game situation is favoring the Colts right now. 3rd and 9. Well, Dennis has Russell Wilson, so he would tell you that, therefore, every situation favors him because he has Russell Wilson and no one else has him. Therefore, Dennis always has an advantage. 4 receivers, 1 running back, pistol formation, nickel defense. Kenbrell Tompkins is your 4th receiver for the Seahawks. Golden Tate the 3rd. 4 is covering Tompkins or Vincent Jackson. I'm going to throw a flat pass here, anticipating a linebacker double team and a safety double team. Who do you throw to? I don't know. Excellent defense. Tricky spot. Tricky spot. And Wilson's going to look for Deshaun Jackson. I see 4 men in the zone. Single coverage of Brent Grimes. Another receiver reading, and Jackson makes the catch again. Another clutch play for Deshaun Jackson. 4 men in the zone. Receiver reading on the defense on 8. An 15-yard gain for the diminutive former Eagle. And it is 1st and 10, Seattle at their own 35. Huge first down when the alternative was punting for your own 20 to Tandon Doss, who is just waiting to make a big return here because there's been a lot of punts. Let's face it. 1st and 10, 6 minutes into the overtime. Play action pass looking for Deshaun Jackson again against single coverage. That is Brent Grimes, the 6 on the way. Receiver reading this time incomplete. The dreaded 7 incomplete, which means that even Jerry Rice on wrong would have dropped the ball. I don't like that rule. Stratomatic. 2nd down and 10 at their own 35. 8:42 to go. Frank Gore looking tired, but he's a gamer. Frank Gore's a gamer. If anything, we all know that. And we screen pass picking on Cole Milson to Frank Gore. I like that play call. Receiver right. 8+10. Frank Gore. Look at that good running back. So I told you he was a gamer. Really good running back receiving corner, right? +6, +10, +8, +7. He's not maxed out or anything, but when he catches it, he gets you good yardage. Big first down for the Seahawks. Up at their 45. He had a 15-yard completion to Deshaun Jackson on 3rd and 9. Screen pass right, 10-yard receiver reading for Frank Gore. And you're near midfield with a chance to try and win this game and go host the AFC Championship game. Tim Bowl, you're waiting and perhaps watching. Frank Gore takes the pitch out on 1st down. Looks like it might be a 4-yard gain, but turns out it's only 3. Frank tried to reach for that extra yard, but he just doesn't have the energy right now. So it was only a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7. That's a fatigue rule for those of you not paying attention. Cameron Wake with the tackle is 4th of the game. 2nd and 7. Kyrie Robinson checks in the game. Kyrie has like a 9 plus 22, I think, on his linebook card. That's an interesting option. Oh, Colts showing blitz, saying you're not going to run over with Kyrie Robinson, or are they baiting? Are they baiting? Are they going to go for the old show blitz, guess run? We all do all these things a million times because we play so many games. So they're not surprises, but they are regular parts of the game. And free safety, the double team of Vincent Jackson. Wilson looked with a screen pass to Michael Rivera, and it is caught. But Eric Weddle, talk about snuffing it out. Stuffs Rivera for a 3-yard loss. He could have broken it up. So I'm going to let him catch it and tackle him by line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10 now for the Hawks at their own 45. Here we are more than halfway through the first overtime period, and we may have more than one. The way these defenses can play football. 4 receivers, 1 running back, pistol formation. Golden Tate and Kembrell Thompson, your extra receivers. Deshaun Jackson and Vincent Jackson, the starting receivers. Deshaun Jackson keeps catching balls here. And this time Russell Wilson's going to look for Golden Tate. Does not have him. He's forced out of the pocket. Wilson can only gain 1 yard. Tackled by Jarius Byrd, the free safety coming up and reading the play. That's an unusual tackle assignment by the game. 4th and 9 Hawks. Shane Leckler to punt. The booming punt. That's going to go into the end zone. It's a coffin corner, it looks like. Coffin corner punt. What a beauty. 50 yards out of bounds to the Baltimore 4. And at the Baltimore 4, and again, folks, the way that these guys are playing defense in these matchups, field position is so huge. Field goal wins the game, sends you to the championship game, loses the season for the other guy, sends him home. No soup for you. Let's see what happens. 1st and 10, Baltimore at their own 4-yard line. 6 minutes to go in the first overtime session. 16-16. Reggie Bush, the tailback. Reggie's got 11 carries until he's fatigued. Chris Paul can't have more than 3 or 4 carries at most left until he's fatigued. I'll tell you who's not fatigued. I'm not fatigued. I'm enjoying this game. 16-16. These two guys just really going at it. As I go to the box score, up and we're back to action. And is blocking back one halfback. Dennis going strap ball. Nickel 3-3-5 in overtime. I'm strap balling you, Neil. He's calling you out. He's saying, now, we all know nickel 3-3-5. It's safety comes to the line, you just run. Or, you can drop 2 guys into long pads. You can flood flats. I hate the unlimited nature of that in certain leagues. I'm going up top. Well, you lose. I know you lose the game on a safety. That's probably not too wise, but I'm daring you. So you're gonna nickel 3-3-5 me. I'm gonna go up top to Jordy Nelson or Des Bryant, and there you go. The Baltimore sideline just looking. Is it okay to play 3-3-5 in overtime? He's conferring with that one referee. He's got to run over from the other side of the field. He wasn't really paying attention because, after all, it's not like he's going to call a penalty. And here's the ruling from the Seattle sideline. In case you were wondering about the 3-3-5, yes, I had to check the Constitution myself. I believe it might be any time in the fourth quarter or overtime, or maybe the last few minutes of the game in overtime, but I'm pretty sure you can do it in overtime, certainly. And inside of 2 minutes, too. Neil now confirming. As they took out the rule book, the autumn win referee goes back to his seat on the bench. Oh, actually, I guess someone has to spot the ball after every play, so I guess they do need referees. Okay, I'll have to take that back. Maybe they don't call them referees; they call them ball spotters. I don't think anyone wants that title, that job. They're referees. Okay. 1st and 10, Baltimore, their own 4. See, Seattle comes full house. King Bush puts a screen pass to Bush. Oh, no men in zone. Defense guessing run. And Nick Foles, the young man, just a little inexperienced, threw that ball errantly, and it was incomplete. That hurts. 1st and 10 at your own 4. Foles does have both 6 and 10 incomplete on wrong, so it's not like you were dealing with a Drew Brees card there, or Peyton Manning or someone of that ilk. Still hurts badly. Pretty much, that was about a 60 out of 72 successful play. Probably about an 85% success reading there. Blocking back again against the nickel 3-3-5. Foles now 17 of 38 on the evening. 178 yards, 3 interceptions, which led to at least 10 Seattle points. Reggie Bush takes a handoff inside. Defense staying nickel 3-3-5. This could be good for the Colts. And again, this is ridiculous. 5 reading on the run wrong card, -1. Didn't even get no yards, -1. We've had like 6 of those. Both teams, Frank Gore, Reggie Bush, not Chris Polk, but both teams have had that reading come up a lot in the late 4th quarter, especially, and a little bit here in the overtime. 3rd down 11 for the Colts at their own 3-yard line in a playoff game in overtime. Talk about a tough spot. What do I do here? Now, the Hawks don't have the best pass rush in the world. He keeps leaving Bush in these situations. The pass block is 0. I guarantee you Dennis is going to blitz. Safety wins the game. Dennis showing blitz. I don't like that. I don't like that that formation. Leaving Bush in there as the only guy. I'd rather see the blocking back take my chances. But Neil's like, hey, Tom, you're 6 and 10 and you're calling the game because you can't even make the playoffs, so why don't you pipe down? So Neil has a point there. 3rd down and 11 at his own 3. They're doing 3 wide, 1 halfback defense, nickel 3-3-5, showing blitz. Now Dennis going to bring the house, maybe leave the right outside 6 to cover Reggie Bush. That's Tamba Hali, though. I bet you Dennis brings the house. Maybe leaves Tamba Hali. It's a draw play. Dennis only brought the safety on the outside. Draw play to Bush, 3rd and 11. Center +10 or +2. And Samson Sattel could not make the block. Would not have made the block even in a regular formation. 4th and 9, Colquitt punting. Defense getting block. 12 would end the game with a touchdown or a safety. Colquitt punted. It's not the best punt in the world. Well, it's a good punt. 49 yards, but if you're on 5. And Golden Tate calls for the fair catch. Not what Dennis was hoping for. But, folks, the Seattle Seahawks are starting this drive on their own 46-yard line. Hey, who doesn't want to start a drive at the 46? Field goal wins it. Ram Godot warming up in the sideline. Frank Gore, fatigued, already has used at least 1 fatigue carry. 2 more carries to the next fatigue level. Russell Wilson, quarterback end run limit reached. Congratulations. For, only 4 more runs to the next fatigue level. So you can run linebucks fatigued Russell Wilson if you'd like. It's a pitch out to Frank Gore going left. Offensive end +8 or +3, and the block is made. Michael Robinson, the only 5 blocker out there. Here's to you, as Dennis would say, Mr. Robinson. Huge block, 8-yard gain for M-Rob. 2nd and 2 at the Baltimore 46. Dennis can smell it. 15 yards away from field goal range to win the game, advance in the playoffs, host a championship game, and maybe, just maybe, make the Autumn Wind Super Bowl. 2nd and 2 Seahawks at their own 46. Kyrie Robinson taking the handoff. Defenders in the zone, and they slam Robinson for a loss of 1 yard. Nice aggressive call by Neil Shannon on the defense that time. He's been leaving those 6s standing around a lot or occasionally double-teaming a wideout. Not as much since he got burned on a Frank Gore receiver reading earlier in the game in that circumstance. But he brought those guys up to the line of scrimmage, gets past, and we might be stuck. Stratomatic, please fix this. All right, guys, I'll be back in 1 moment. We are reloading. Great ball game. All right, guys, you look to be in business. There we go, 3rd and 3. Huge. It's overtime. They're all huge. Huge 3rd and 3 for the Seahawks. Overtime in the playoffs. 3rd and 3 for the Seahawks at the Baltimore 47. 15 yards away from field goal range. Kyrie Robinson, the running back, can make a first down here easily. If he gets restricted down to his 4 yards, guess what? That's a first down. Cannot catch the ball. I wonder if that's why Neal moved that right linebacker up last time. Dennis may want to run the other way, although that left end 6 could come up on a defensive end reading. And you lose the blocking back 5 for Michael Robinson on your own reading there. But I think it's okay. Sure enough, inside run to Robinson, defense guessing run. 5 loses 2 yards this time. That means if Dennis was thinking about going for it, probably not going to go for it here. As a matter of fact, you'd have to be crazy to go for it here. 4th and 5 for Dennis at the Baltimore 49. Leckler will surely try to punt it out of bounds. Watch for a coffin corner that does not make it to the corner, as often happens. It's a booming coffin corner punt. And that's a nice one. Oh, just too far. 50-yarder. I think Dennis was at the 49. 50-yarder goes into the end zone for a touchback. And in case you're just joining us, that would be very strange because it would mean that you're watching a YouTube video and you clicked it like 2 hours into it. But it is 16-16. Colts Seahawks. Overtime. Only a minute 52 to go in the first overtime. Neal asking what will happen if we get past the first quarter. Neal channeling his inner Donovan McNabb. Neal, it's the playoffs. We play a second overtime quarter. You silly rabbit. Okay. 1:52 to go for the Colts at their own 20. When you want to make sure of everything here, I suppose. Last 2 minutes in the first overtime of a playoff game. You don't see that too often, I agree, in Stratomatic, nor in the NFL. Blocking back formation. Reggie Bush, the back, has still a good amount of carries left. Chris Ivory still on the bench. Andrew Jennings double teams Bush. It's a screen pass. Watch the pickoff, which could pretty much end the game. A 4 incomplete on the defense on a white die 6. 3 would have been picked off. Flat pass pickoff at the 21. Could easily ended the game. 2nd down and 10. Chris Polk checks in. Polk has only 2 healthy carries until he's retired, until he's hits the first fatigue level. Not that much of a problem for him. Dennis double teams the wideouts. Nick Foles looking for Zach Ertz. No one rushing. Watch for a potential dump off. Foles has no one downfield. Decides to scramble. Gains 5 yards up to the 25-yard line. And it's going to be 3rd down and 5. Baltimore Colts. The old horseshoe on the side of the helmet. Memorial Stadium. We're not in Memorial Stadium, but you know what I'm saying. I'm referencing the old Colts. We are in Seattle, whose field looks remarkably like Baltimore's in Stratomatic. 3rd down and 5 for the Colts. 3 wide. Reggie Bush, the lone back. Nickel 3-3-5. I can't remember the last time we had a... Foles is going deep to Sidney Rice. Single coverage against a 4 on the defense. This could be a huge play. Foles has no one open. It's a scramble, but gets brought down right at the line of scrimmage by Geno Atkins. No gain. 4th and 5. Colts to punt. Colquitt at the block on his card. Dennis is waiting for it. Oh, no! The punt is blocked. Blocked by the Seahawks. Dennis Colquitt's punt. Blocked by the Seahawks. Recovered at the Baltimore 19-yard line. The dreaded 12. You had 9 punts today, which means technically you had a 1-4 shot at getting a block. And it comes in overtime with 30 seconds to go. Neal Shannon, my heart goes out to you. The game has come to a pause. Neal Shannon has got to be upset. Dennis, 1st and 10 at the 19. He's going to run a play from the scrimmage. I think the field goal is not that great on Graham Gano. if you could know what I'm saying. Ha ha ha. Kyrie Robinson, the running back. You hate to see a game or a season end like this. A block punt. Oh. Kyrie Robinson takes a handoff off tackle. Gets 8 for 6 yards. 2nd and 4. The Baltimore 13-yard line. Somebody called timeout just to make sure, I guess. Graham Gano from the 13 to 22 is only 2 to 8, 11, and 12. So you got to defend every inch here if you're Baltimore and get into that 2 to 8, 11, and 12. You could miss it. Kyrie Robinson is again the running back. 4-3 showing blitz. 2nd and 4. Robinson takes the handoff inside. Defensive tackle makes the play. Nick Fairley. It's a 3-yard gain, though. Dennis is calling timeouts. Maybe at the end of the first overtime it does make you kick off. I have no idea. That would be crazy. It's supposed to kick off, I think, at halftime or after 2 overtimes, if you know what I mean. I'm not even sure if that's the rule, but I was making fun of Neil. I don't know the rules. 3rd and 1, full outs, and then you cannot lose yardage here. You should try the field goal right here. You can lose yards against this defense easily. Dennis might throw a pass. Don't overlook that. Go big or go home, or go big and go home. If he gets picked off in the defense. Inside handoff to Kyrie Robinson gets a short gain. He stopped for a 4-yard gain because the low usage running back containment rule. That's still a first down at the 6-yard line. Kyrie Robinson is a 3 on the fumble number. Russell Wilson's a 2 to 4. Graham Gano is going to come out for a 23-yard attempt to win the game after the block punt at the 19-yard line. What a way to end your season. Jesus. No. Dennis is going to run more plays from scrimmage. Tempting fate here. I would have tried the field goal. 1st and goal to 6 for the Seahawks. Full house backfield. And hands off to Robinson. This time he gets no yards. 2nd and goal. Kowamisi, the linebacker, making the play. And we're going to go into the 2nd overtime. But it might be a formality. And that was a 6 out of 1,000 for a fumble, so 8.4 out of 1,000 for the old fumble. Dennis is running plays. He's tempting fate here, boy. Snap fumble. 2nd and goal to 6. Dennis kicked the field goal. Jeez. Runs with Kyrie Robinson inside, no gain. 3rd and goal. I mean, 8.4 out of 1,000, I admit, not very much, but if you run it 3 times, now you're up to, 24 out of 1,000. And here comes Gano for the field goal, 23-yarder to win the game. The kick is up, and it is good. A 23-yard field goal for Graham Gano in the beginning of the 2nd overtime after the Seattle Seahawks blocked a punt for Baltimore's Dustin Colquitt at his own 19-yard line. 3 interceptions and a block punt for the Colts. Man, oh Shevitz. What a game. Oh, what a way to end it. Look, all due congratulations to Dennis and Neil for coaching an epic game, for doing a fine job. But boy, you hate to lose that way. You hate to see anybody sit there for 5 quarters and, play a solid game and play an epic game, and it's 16-16, and no one can move the ball in overtime. We played 5 quarters. Nobody had 300 yards of offense. Baltimore, 290 yards offense. Seattle, 262 yards of offense. I mean, these defenses were doing it. And, 3 turnovers. The Nick Foles, the 3 interceptions, all in the first half. They led to at least 10 Seattle points. Seattle had a huge fumble in the 4th quarter. Frank Gore fumbling in his own territory. The other highlights is not on. What's wrong with these guys? How do you not put the other highlights on? Playoff game. Jeez. Let me see if that's an option for me. Yes, I clicked it off, so it's my own fault. But I think I did that because I was having problems with the broadcast and trying different things. But let's see if it saves me now and gives me the other highlights. Yeah, the fumble came with 7:12 to go in the fourth quarter. That led to the field goal for Baltimore that gave them a 16-13 lead with 5:42 to go. But Dennis came down the field and tied it up. Tied it up on a short field goal from Graham Gano, a 21-yard field goal. And first quarter of overtime was naturally scoreless. Teams went back and forth, a lot of punting going on. I kept waiting for a Graham Gano return, but Dennis kept punting it into the corner. I mentioned the Dustin Colquitt block, and it came through. You know, if you have a real good team and you think you're going to win for the year, I really hate to have a punter with a block. I said that in one of the SoMeFA playoff games, especially a real top team, and especially in a one-and-win or in any league with no penalties. Any league with no penalties, look, they're going for the block every single time. So you know you're gonna give up a couple of blocks during the year, and a block punt in the playoffs. Oh, to lose your season like that. Oh, Neil.
Hey, Tom?
Yes.
You want any commentary from this end?
Yeah, sure, folks. We're here with Dave Siminski. And
everything you're saying is absolutely true. I mean, that is so devastating to lose a game like that. You just, like you said, no matter who it is, you know, we both love Dennis, but well, I'll tell you that you just can't imagine losing a game like that. But that was one great game, and you did a great job of calling it, Tom.
Thanks, Dave. We're here with Dave Siminski, the Duke. Is it the Duke or just Duke?
Just Duke, or the Duke of Philadelphia. I like to throw of in there a lot of times just for some royalty.
The Duke of Philadelphia, I have seen that. We are getting ready for Battle Royale, not to switch gears too greatly, but we're getting ready for Battle Royale. And you know what? Let me see if I get Dennis on here to talk about the game. Hold on, Duke.
That would be cool. A special post-game interview, huh? Congratulations, Dennis.
Hey, that was some game, huh?
Oh, my. Yeah. Oh, my.
What?
Look at you. You had a hair before that game started.
You know, Dennis, I was about to link you the link so you could come in and talk, and I guess great minds think alike, and you joined in. So, yeah, Dave here, the Duke of Philadelphia, was watching the game and listening, despite our many starts and stops. And then he joined me here for the post-game commentary. You know, and I was just.
Neil was one heck of a coach. That's a great team he put together. So I'm very fortunate about that.
That defense.
Look at that. It's great to see his expression. That's a winner's sigh of relief we just saw from Dennis. That's great. You can't do that any other way without these cameras.
That's right. And you know what? When we look at this game, we say, you know what? That was an epic game. Game went to the second overtime. Neil and Dennis giving us quite a show, and let's just give them a round of applause. I was wondering, was that Byron Bostic, maybe the up back on the punt there for the
No, it was Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson blocked the punt.
Russell blocked the punt. Yeah, I think Byron Bostic was the up back for the Colts. He missed the block. And
yeah, he had a chance to stop it, but I had a bad break like that too on the Gore fumble deep in my own territory.
Indeed.
So, but you know, it was a really balanced game. Any calls that you thought I
No, you called the perfect game.
Huh?
You called the perfect game.
I'm happy to win, that's for sure. But I know that one thing I wish I would have been throwing on that one 3rd down and 3 there at the end. That would have been a plus 16 on Wilson's card. But I wound up missing it. I got the -2 on Tyree Robinson's card. I need more carries on the.
Well, if you're going to go into overtime, look, in autumn wind, when you run into these excellent defenses, I mean, if you don't have, the very best offensive cards, it's hard. It's hard to find play calls that you really want to do that make a lot of sense and that look like they're going to work for you. Sure, you got Vincent Jackson covered by the 4, but I mean, I just felt like looking at the teams coming in. I just felt like it was a really rough matchup for your offense. But I also liked your defense against him. So I thought it would be a low-scoring game. The 3 picks in the first half obviously were huge, but he was throwing a lot of short passes into 4 men, and even with Foles' card, that's 2 to 7 and 12 on your card. So you might expect a couple of picks. Hopefully you don't get 3, but then like you said, you had the huge fumble mid-fourth quarter. Then you had a big drive to tie the game. But I mean, moving the ball. I played that team twice this year, and granted, my team was not a playoff caliber team, but I mean, it's just really hard to move the ball on that team. His 5s are making all the tackles. That was a huge play. All game, his 5s on the defensive line were making tackles. You're getting -1, -2, and then you had like 2nd and 10 at his 30. I think when you were going for the game-tying field goal, late fourth quarter, you do I think an end run left, and you get defensive end with Russell Wilson. And you get defensive end -4 +6, and finally you get the 6 on the white die. Finally, Jared Allen misses the play. You get down to the 24. The drive continues. You get down real close. You kick the game-tying field goal. If he makes that tackle, it's 3rd and 14 to the 34. Not even in good field goal range to tie the game. So that was like you know what? We've been killing you all game by you're not beating any 5s on the run all game, and then finally you get 1. When it would have killed you to not get it. So that's Stratomatic. That's the way it goes,
Exactly. That was a huge sequence. I also was really, really close to going for it on 4th and 2 instead of kicking the game-time field goal, but there's just too many blanks on that excellent pass D card, too many 5s on that D-line front on the excellent run defense card. So even if I thought I knew what he was going to call, I just didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, you thought for a long time, though, before you made that play.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you would have gone for that, I would have thought you were crazy because those run cards are hard enough. And those cards with a linebacker in zone, and he's got good linebackers, and maybe you go full house, but your offensive line run blocking not that great. You're going to throw into the 4 men 2 to 6. 2 to 6 is incomplete. You might as well make it 2 to 7 if you're throwing against one of his 6s. 2 to 7 and 9 incomplete. Right. If you're throwing against the 6. So, you got to kick the field goal there. Look, that was a great game. My heart goes out to Neil.
The third down call there when I ran it in run. If that's on Gore's card, that's a touchdown. But even so, there's still the other thing was there was too much time left. There was over a minute left. So even if I get the touchdown, he still has a chance to come back down and score. So I had to kick the field goal on 4th.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that if it was on Frank's scorecard. I mentioned during my broadcast every now and then when you guys would miss a good play by 1 number, I mentioned that some coaches care a lot about that. I know Dennis does. I know Dennis goes, 6 incomplete, 5 was a long gain. And I mentioned I don't care. To me, it's math.
No,
whatever I roll.
But I don't care about that so much. I care about offense or defensive card. Like that play, if it was on Gore's card, that's juicy. If it was on the D card, I'm screwed.
I got you. But either way, the Strat coaches, I think, tend to go more your way, where either they're off by a number or my card, his card, they get upset. I don't know why, but my mentality is always, I don't know, it's math. I never think that way when I'm playing. Never. I've never once. Well, I should in the last few years when I was younger, of course. But it's been years, I think, since I've had like an 8 incomplete on a receiver with like 7 and 9 long gain, and I've been like, oh. But I think most Strats coaches do that. I think you're very comfortably in the majority with that type of thinking. But it was interesting because as I saw those, obviously I'm not listening to you guys. So when I would see certain roles in the game, I think you had I think he threw a looking pass to 2 men late in the game somewhere, and he got 3 on his card, I think. No, he got a 4 on your card, and 3 would have been picked off.
Right.
Yeah, obviously, like it was real late in the game.
Those I never like look at that 1 number away and think, oh, I could have done it. But yeah, the offensive versus deep, that's the hardest strat. 1 through 3, 456 on the D. So, hey guys, I really appreciate you calling the game. I got to run. It's
I have
midnight for the
to
wife.
go too. So I have another game to play, guys.
All right, guys.
All right, well,
thanks
thank
for
you.
joining us.
Congrats
I
again.
really appreciate it.
Congrats, Dennis.
Thank you.
Good job,
Congratulations,
Tom.
Dennis.
See ya.
Thanks, Dave. Good luck in the AFC Championship game, which I guess I'll be calling solo because you'll be playing in it.
Well, I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you for doing that. I think it really adds to the Strat leagues, both Somitha and Autumn Wind, that we have these games recorded, called by people who are enthusiastic about it, and it'll just add to the enjoyment of all the league members. So thanks so much.
All right. Congratulations again, Dennis. We'll see you later. That was Dennis Crowley signing off. 6:26 Pacific time. He's on the West Coast. Could be looking at a dinner call from the wife. Could be looking at picking up the kids somewhere. He's just finished a double overtime playoff victory, heartbreaking defeat for Neil Shannon. Look, Dennis called a good game. Neil called a good game. Oh, Neil, my heart goes out to you. 3 picks for Nick Foles in the first half, lead to at least 10 points. I had a lead, a couple minutes to go. By 3, Seattle marches down the field, kicks the game-tying field goal. And then at the end of the first overtime, it was a punt fest for the overtime. At the end of the first overtime, 4th down Colts around their own 23-yard line. Dustin Colquitt jogs out onto the field, 12. Boxcars. Blocked punt. Seattle recovers at the Baltimore 19. They advance down to the 6-yard line. Graham Gano kicks the game-winning field goal. Colts season is over after a blocked punt in overtime. It does not get much more heartbreaking than that. And I think anyone listening to this game, watching this game, these guys coached a great game. They played a great game. It was an epic game. If you watched it, if you listened to it, I hope you enjoyed it. But if you're a Strat football coach, tonight your heart goes out to Neil Shannon and those Baltimore Colts because block punt in overtime. Oh my goodness. He is not gonna. He's not gonna sleep too well tonight. His head's gonna be going back and forth on that pillow. He's gonna be clenching the sheets. He's gonna be sitting there in the morning, despondently drinking a cup of coffee at the dining room table. Maybe he's married. Maybe the wife say, "What's wrong, honey?" You don't want to hear that, honey. Just I want to be in an isolated bubble of misery. For at least a few hours for at least that night, and for a couple hours in the morning when you lose a game like that. Just I want the cone of silence from Get Smart. That's just I don't want to see any grass. I don't want to see any sun. I don't want to see any sunshine. Just leave me alone. Just let me sit there and just let me think about that stupid green screen and that stupid blue card image and that stupid little 12 lighting up blocked. And I got to sit there and I got to look. 1st and 10 at my 19 in the overtime. I was so close to the AFC Championship game against a team that I could beat. Tim's got a good club. Tim did a great job. Let's talk about that for a minute. How about Tim Bowyer? Gets his Somifa team to the semifinals, a team with not much defense, great offense. They get that team to the semifinals where he lost to just a real superior opponent. Then he comes over here in Autumn Wind a couple weeks later, 10-6, when the wild card. I won my wild card game. Yay! Congratulations. You feel good about that, and then you go up north. You go to Montreal, home of the Alouettes. 15-1. 15-1 regular season for that team. Gave up less than 200 points. Excellent. I don't even know who the offensive personnel is on that team. Does it matter? When you got these excellent things going on. Third best defense in the league for opponent points allowed. Third best scoring offense in the league, 435 points. The Raiders were plus 98, so no, plus 91. So they were not exactly slouches in the old point differential performance, but 30-17 loss. I think it was 23-17 later. I'm not sure. I did not get to finish looking at the recap. Montreal had 400. No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm not looking at the box score. Montreal, Drew Brees was at the helm. The running backs were not too exciting. Chris Johnson. But wow. And your heart goes out to Claude too. 15-1. Look. This is my first broadcast talking about autumn wind. I'm in SOMIFA. I'm an NFL guy. I know some guys don't like that, but hey, whatever. I play SOMIFA. I play SSFA. I'm playing SOMSFA. So I'm wrapping up my first season in autumn wind. This is a 30-team league. This is my first time talking extensively at all about autumn wind this year, mostly because I just don't have the history in that league. And I love the other leagues that I've been in for a long time. I love SOMIFA, and I think NFL Ed does a great job running that league. But boy, you're in a 30-team league, and you build a great defense and a pretty good offense, and you go 15-1, and then you lose at home to a wild card team, 10-6. Your first game, you don't even get to make. You don't even get to win one playoff game. That really hurts. I mean, that's really a tough one to swallow. This team was 12-0. 12-0 going into the fourth quarter of the schedule. I don't know the history of the teams and the coaches in this league. Looking at this squad, I'm going to assume that Claude has had some very fine success in the past. I remember looking at the roster and just said, wow, it's a real good roster. It looks like there will be drop-off next year, but they'll still be very much in the postseason mix. Let's take a look at these Oakland Raiders. Tim Bolyer's Oakland Raiders. I think Tim's team has a different name in almost every league. He's the Buccaneers in SOMIFA. He's the Cowboys in SOMSFA. I played against his team twice. They're in my division. I split with the team. I got super lucky one game. I had a block punt for a touchdown. I blocked his punt for a touchdown. And I even did a Dennis Crowley-style picture of it to see if I could do it. Jake Locker, LaShawn McCoy, some good sevens on the line, some decent pass blocking, going left. Calvin Johnson, Antonio Brown, Martellus Bennett, LaShawn McCoy. Tim always with excellent receiving targets. Does a really nice job developing and drafting those type of guys. Darryl Young, I think, can go deep even on his blocking back card. This is a 3-4 defense. It's only average. Only average. But Tim's got to coach even more. Not that the excellent guys don't have to coach, but you know what I mean. You gotta move your guys around and guess more aggressively. Usually, when you have worse defensive cards, that just makes sense, right? So he's got a 5-5-4 defensive line. He's got a 4-4-4-4 linebacker. That's right. I killed him with flat passes. He's got a 6-5 corner. So you like that if you're the defensive coach. He's got 4 as the safety. Don't remember who Dennis's tight end is. We just finished that game. Michael Rivera. He'll have a decent card next year. Not much this year. 4 extra defensive back. You could see some 3 wide. Now doing some AFC Championship game previewing. But I have to read the write-up. I have to read the recap. Then Tim did a nice recap on the forum of the autumn win game of his game against Montreal. And so AFC Championship game, autumn win this year, you're going to have the Oakland Raiders, 10-6, winners of 2 postseason games. They beat the Houston Texans and the Montreal Alouettes. And they'll be traveling up the West Coast to Seattle to take on the Seahawks, who were 13-3. Were the number 2 seed in the AFC. Seattle, in case you missed the last 2 hours of broadcasting, just defeated Baltimore 19-16 in double overtime. Yes, I said double overtime. Seattle scored 422, gave up only 254. which normally I would have been very impressed by, and I quickly looked to see if that led the league, but no, because 3 guys give up less than 200 points. So that 254 total, I was number 4 in autumn win this year. It's still very good. 422 points scored. I'm coming to the realization that Dennis is one of the better offensive coaches around. Seems to put up a lot of points, almost no matter who his personnel is. Number 3, scoring offense in the league, possibly. Number 4. You got 1, 2, 3. He's number 4. Montreal was 3rd. Number 4 scoring offense. Number 4 defense. But hey, Tim is looking to keep it going. Tim's weakness on that defense is the flat passing. But Russell Wilson is not exactly, Chad Pennington with the flat passing. So that's not a bad matchup for Tim. And looking on the other side of the football, you got Shady McCoy's card, and you got good receiving targets. I mean, Jake Locker's card is not terrible, so you can do some good things there. I might even be looking for the upset. I think, as a matter of fact, I think Tim's going to win. I think Tim's going to beat Dennis and go to the AW Super Bowl. You make the Super Bowl in this league, a 30-team league, you make the Super Bowl, that is, to me, a great accomplishment. 30-team league. You got to build your team up. You go for the short victory, the short-term deal, the 1 or 2 year deal, and you don't make it, that franchise is going to be hurting for several years. It really is a great league. I love the 30-team format. It's my first time playing in it, and I love it. I would like to play, if you're out there listening, I would like to play in another 30-team league that has the type of formation and rules restrictions that Autumn Wind or Somifa do. I'm not a free-for-all guy. Yes, I play in Dennis's Battle Royales, but those are for money. So I'll always, you want to play for money, you want to gamble, I'm down. Let's go. But I'm a 30-team modern spring league with restrictions like Autumn Wind or Somifa. I would play in that. I'm not going to run it. I'm a terrible commissioner. IFL guys can tell you that. Yeah, wow, what a great game. This is people think we're crazy for calling these Strat playoff games, and sometimes I think that way myself. Dennis said he was playing. How would I feel about broadcasting? And I said, sure. Well, we got a great one tonight, so I really enjoyed it. I hope anyone else out there was listening enjoyed it as well. Dennis, I don't know what you're thinking. The game was supposed to start at 7 o'clock. I'm ready. I said, tell me when it's going to start. Gives me the IP. We go to start. They have trouble connecting. He says, hold on. This is all through AIM. So Dennis tells me, hold on. Neil's having trouble connecting. So I'm like, okay. And then I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. Dennis goes offline at AIM. Maybe he's rebooting. Time goes by. What's going on here? So finally, I am Neil. I'm like, Neil, what's going on? Oh, we're in the second quarter. Well, second quarter? Dennis, you asked me to call the game. You asked me to broadcast the game. I'll tell you to let me know when you guys are connecting. We have problems, and that's all he tells me. How about, okay, we're good now, join. Is that too much? Is that, a little too much to type in there? Hit the old enter key. Russell Wilson was filling your head with, dreams of end runs and must runs and long passes to Deshaun Jackson. So the long story short, and if you know me, it's usually short story long. We missed the first quarter plus of action for this broadcast because Dennis Crowley decided not to tell me that they had reconnected really connected for the first time. So Dennis Crowley did not tell me they did not connect. So Dennis, I blame you. Just for doing that, you should not have won the game. Dustin Colquitt should have got that punt off. And I'm just teasing you. You deserve to win. Both coaches deserve to win. Great game. But we would have had it from the beginning. But a certain Seahawks fan neglected to tell me that we were reconnected. So I can't blame him for having myopia because it's a playoff game. But the game just started. Could you just, yes, we're connected now. One line. Bang. So anyway, the broadcast picks up early second quarter. It was only 3-0 at that time. So not too bad. All right, guys, this is Tom signing off. I guess I'll try and look and see what's going on in the NFC. Dennis and I had planned to call these conference championship games and the Super Bowl for Autumn Wind. So I guess I better figure out what's going on in the NFC. And I know Tim and Dennis well, so the AFC game won't be a problem for me to broadcast. Maybe I'll count on Tim this time to tell me when they're connected instead of relying on Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. I'm irritated because we were perfect. All set up perfect. Then he blows the first quarter of the game by forgetting. Anyway, it was a great game. All right, good night, guys. This is Tom signing off. Hope you enjoy the game. It was a great one. Bye-bye.